Yeah, well, welcome everybody to our Sunday night with Global Strangeness. Three friends brought together, strangers brought together by the love of everything spooky and weird in the world that we love to talk about. This week we have a real treat for you because it's not three friends brought together, it's a whole whack of us. And so
it's a gaggle.
We're a bracket, and so we're talking about cults, and we're not sure how the criteria is going down, but one's going to come out on top. So with that being said, I'd like everybody to sort of introduce yourselves to our viewers. So let's go around the room. I'm Deborah. Scott, you go ahead. Hand it off.
I'm Scott.
I'm Jeremy, your favorite drunk co-host of this show.
Yeah.
No offense, Deborah. And also host of Paranormal Than Normal. And I'll let my co-host introduce our other show. But Casey, where are you from?
I'm Casey. I am the host of An Evening at the Movies, future host of Literature Reapers, and proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Thank you guys for having me.
Our pleasure. And Laura, if you got anywhere you're from you want to say?
Hey, I know Scott, and I'm from Burbank. I'm just a everyday skeptic and a lover of everything that's weird. So I've tried to follow all the cults and try to stay away, but I'd love to hear more. Thanks for having me.
Burbank. What's up with that? What's up with that?
I bought a house in Burbank. Yeah. You know, I gotta get my kids in the rich kid area if they want to.
You talk to Amber and Stevie still?
I do online. I do online from time to time, but nothing much. I'm just really happy that everybody's doing good. I still hit up Jeremy too. And God, Taylor hits me up from every few years. You know, I keep in touch with everybody. I don't care. I'm like half dead from yesterday's partying, so don't worry about me. I'm going to be wearing my sunglasses, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you, of course. And CJ, where can they find you? Where are you from?
Last but not least, I'm the music god CJ Plain. I host the Noise Report and a YouTube channel called Music God Reacts. I live in a small town near Detroit. I'll just put it that way because you probably never heard of the town I live in. But let's just say Detroit for lack of argument, or Ann Arbor, if you know where Ann Arbor is. I'm actually closer to Ann Arbor. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Music is my expertise, but music, pop culture, cooking, reading, writing, taking classes to be a record producer. So yeah, you know, that's me in a nutshell.
And last but certainly not least, Chance-a-Lot, where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Chancey, the co-host of the Maniacal Music Musing with Jeremy on all the platforms.
Are you taking a shit right now, dude?
No.
Why can't we see you?
Oh, no.
Chancey took an edible, so he is on the realm of the cults, so he can understand cults better than any of us tonight. So,
well, maybe I'll take an edible right now, too. We'll see how it goes down.
Yes.
It'll kick in after our fucking shit's done.
Oh,
probably. But, yes, and as previously announced, we are here tonight to do a cults bracket, ladies and gentlemen, and the fun of this is the first official bracket on Global Strangers, though not technically our first bracket, but our first official bracket we were doing monthly on this show. And the way it'll break down is it's 34 cults, and I will give a quick intro to each one before each matchup in the first round. That way people can decide based on what I tell them. And it's all copied and pasted from websites, so don't worry, I didn't add any or take any away, which could be a sad thing in some of these cases. And of course, the lineup for this one will go Chancey, CJ, Deborah, myself, Casey, Laura, and then Scott bringing up the rear like always.
No, what's my name in alphabetical? It's like Metatron or some shit.
It's Malachi, motherfucker.
Malachi,
from Children of the Corn.
Yeah, I'm in the middle, dude.
Metatron's an angel. I don't think that.
Oh, you're still going last, but I'll call you Malachi.
Whatever.
But that's the way the lineup's gonna go, and let's just start this fun because it's gonna be interesting. And the first matchup, which Chancey, of course, will start, is the Sullivanians which was formed as an alternative to what leader Saul P. Newton deemed as an inept psychotherapy. It provided a new and radical lifestyle alternative to people seeking a fresh start. Group members were encouraged to have sexual relationships with everyone in the group, and it cut off all actual family or friend ties outside their intimate inner circle. Even new parents were told to give their children away to other caretakers or send them to a boarding school so they weren't a burden. Nice. As the years grew, and after Newton's first wife, Dr. J. Pierce, left him, he slowly became more radical, more paranoid in his preaching and views. He and his second wife, Joan Harvey, discouraged members from having any outside contact, despite the fact they lived in New York City. Members began to become ostracized for speaking out at all or questioning Newton's teachings. Eventually, these preachings turned violent, and Newton became both more paranoid and more controlling, especially towards people who wanted to leave the group. When Newton finally died in 91, the group dissolved. So kind of boring, for lack of a better word, cult, but it's going against the fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
They better fucking win. They better fucking win. Hometown. Let's go.
But the second group was a fundamentalist Mormon denomination that preaches a number of questionable and strict practices. Its current leader, you heard me right, current leader, Warren Jeffs, has
That
publicly
dude's
stated.
fucking been in prison for a while, dude.
Yeah, so he's not the current leader. He was during their heyday.
How is he not? Jesus.
Well, people can leave from prison. I mean, have you not seen TV
Oh,
shows?
he was actually leading from prison. I haven't seen it
But
recently.
he publicly stated so many hateful opinions about women, gays, and blacks that they've officially been labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They have been under fire for tax evasion, child abuse, sexual assault, blood sacrifice, forced marriages, and child labor exploitation accusations for decades. More recently, members of the fundamentalist group made national news after being arrested on the premises of the Yearning for Zion Ranch near El Dorado, Texas, on April 14, 2008. Because of the deeply secret nature of the organization and the threatening totalitarian style of leadership, few people come forward with their tales of survival, talk about what is really happening behind the scenes. So you got a boring cult that is now dissolved for 20 plus years versus a cult that's still active, and they both have done creepy things.
Religion, dude. Religion. They are true Mormons. Those are the true Mormons.
And Scott lives in Utah, so I'm gonna take his word for it. But
they kicked him out, the fuckers. They also own coke.
If the Mormons who have lucky underwear kick you out, that's saying something. But Chancey, which way you want to go? The Sullivanians or the fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
I'm gonna go with the fundamentalists.
Yeah.
And let's keep it at that short thing, because I'm not gonna write that thing 1,000 times. But
FDLS. That's what they're called up here.
Okay,
Correct.
there you go. That works. You mean FLDS?
FLDS, yeah.
And CJ, which way you want to go?
Well, as a Mormon, oddly enough,
He's got some
you gotta go with the Mormon psychos, because and just so you know, not all Mormons wear magic underwear, okay?
Just the one who wanted to be president of the United States at one point. But
well, that's what you have to wear to get
saying
into the
anything.
Mormonism.
But Deborah, how about you?
Oh, that's a no-brainer. The Mormons. The other one I've never heard of, and they died out quickly.
Yeah, well, these things tend to die out fast, but being a New Yorker, I'm going to go for the Sullivanians because it's New York pride, even if it is a cult. So, but I got a feeling I'm the only one, so whatever. But Casey, which way you want to go?
West Coast.
Which means
fucking wackadoo fucking fundamentalists.
Which means the FLDS does move on to the second round. But Laura, which way would you have gone?
Oh, come on. If you're not binging the Sister Wives, what are you doing? FLDS for life. You know it.
And last but not least, Scott, aka Malachi there. Which way you want to go?
The hard one. I do want to say happy birthday to Brandy. They were going to come on, but FLDS the whole way.
Yes, happy birthday, Brandy. I'll have to write you on Facebook when we get done with this. But, well, that was an easy decision, apparently.
This is a Desert Cat sweep, dude. I think FLDS goes all the way.
Well, this next one might be easy too, based on popular culture, but we'll see.
Man, there's some There's some psycho cults out there if you got a good list.
Oh, yes. Two people on this have not seen, or maybe even three have not seen the list, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, I
Because the
should
next-
probably send you the list, Jerry.
At this point, doesn't matter, man. I'm introducing them all anyway. So,
Yeah, that's true.
but the next one is Nixum or NXIVM, which is internationally famous now because of the Vow series on HBO Max.
Correct.
They were established as an educational and personal empowerment company, but there always seemed to be another agenda for Keith Raniere, the leader. And part of what is preached in the inner circles was the attainment of various levels of personal development, all of which require total devotion of both time, energy, and money towards the program itself. Shocker. As people would become more inculcated, never seen that word before, into the world of Nixum, they slowly also be invited, or often forced by peer pressure or threat, into a secret sex cult. When it was finally uncovered, there were over 150 women in this sex trafficking ring, including many people of influence like actress Allison Mack from Smallville. In the end, this cult was little more than a pyramid scheme designed to stroke the fragile ego of a disturbed sex predator. Good description.
Isn't that how they all are? Come on. now.
Right?
Well,
This one was special because they branded all the girls, right?
Yes,
And it was
they-
really sick.
Oh my God.
Brand
They
in
did-
them based on sex. So other than money, like Scientology or power, they wanted to go straight for sex for power. And then they try to implant people in certain companies into actresses, into actors. And it's really weird how they took a different turn than usual cults who want all the power, money, and the control, where they just went after women and then branded them and then had the nerve to be able to be cool with putting them on the big screen. Like, damn. That's
Well-
bold.
Dude, I had all of our friends get branded. Come on now.
Oh
That's
yeah.
that's not
we weren't a
unnormal.
Here's the next creepy cult leader, just as spoken.
That was my goal when we were
But-
kids.
we'll see, because they're going up against the 12 tribe, which is basically, if you ever wondered what Midsummer might look and feel like if it were to take place in the middle of Tennessee, 12 tribes is your answer. On the outside, they seem like a peaceful hippie style commune that split off from Christianity, but they have formed their own belief system that melds Masonic Jewish beliefs with various Christian doctrines. The women of the commune submit to both their husbands and to the beliefs of all males in the commune, and they've been accused of both tax evasion and exploiting children for slave labor. So yeah, they're not exactly as wild as Nixum is, but they still have their own, and it's Tennessee. I mean, what happens in the South stays in the South, but Jesus Christ.
I've seen a lot of new things coming up recently where they're really getting into the Appalachians, into Alabama, into the South, and they're finding like all of these abandoned houses off put where no road can get them. And they're taking, and they're still researching it and making stories, but they're supposed to be taking like foster kids into this. And I'm just, that's going to bring about another, are they going to pin it on satanic ritual, or is it going to become, is it going to open the door to like a Southern cult that has been going on for years?
Interesting, but CJ, you get the first vote in this. Is it Nixum or the 12 tribes?
Got to go with Nixum. You know, they're pretty dark as far as. I kind of had it mixed up for a minute. I was thinking it was a different one, but hopefully the other one is on the list as well. But yeah, Nixum is pretty dark, and the fact that it got in Hollywood, you know, and had some really high profile Hollywood people involved with it, made it even more kind of scary. Because
it is. I mean, I didn't hear about it until the one actress from Smallville, till Kevin Smith started talking about, till Kevin Smith started talking about her in a podcast. Like, I didn't hear about it even, and they started talking about like her coming out.
4
with
or 5
stories.
of them that were involved in it to different degrees, and that's kind of scary because, you know, now it's just not a small cult, but you have a lot of money and power and in media kind of behind you, you know. So that pushes the boundaries really of you know,
yeah,
you're not a bunch of hillbillies in the hills anymore, or a bunch of crazy people running around on a compound. Now you're getting up there with the Scientologists as far as batshit crazy.
I heard,
Well-
dude, the Scientologists, if you paid enough money, you get to go to heaven. So don't throw around crazy all willy-nilly.
Yeah, it's like
Deb-
something like 40 fucking $million though.
Yeah, I think it's like 140,000, dude. It's like,
You pay all that money to go clear, but it doesn't matter because you're signing your soul for like a 1,000,000-year infinity contract. That's what they make you do. So supposedly it doesn't matter if you're going to heaven, that soul's coming back to pay some dues for dear old Scientology.
So Tom Cruise doing shit.
oh, Tom Cruise is Scientology. Come on now.
Tom Cruise is the only reason that there's still Scientology.
You're
Seriously.
damn right.
Yeah.
And Deborah, which way you want to go? Nixon or 12 tribes?
Oh, Nixum sounds, it's 10 times. A branding? Ugh. I mean, that's
It's
that's
not
scary.
that bad, dude. I got my brand. Come on.
That's scary.
It hurts for one night, then it's over.
Yeah,
But
lead by example.
Scott, you get drunk enough, you don't remember it in the morning. But I'm gonna throw it to the 12 tribes because Tennessee is crazy southern, and stuff that happens in Tennessee could be crazy. So 12 tribes gets my vote. And plus, I've seen the pictures of all these cults when I was doing the research, and the 12 tribes, they look like Mormons almost the way they dress. But I mean, or Amish, they look like Amish as well. But it's just insane.
Amish,
Like,
Mormon, same fucking thing.
basically.
My grandfather was a fucking Tennessee Snake Baptist preacher. Or not my grandfather, my great grandfather. So.
Oh, we did a Boondocks album that had a song about that on Maniacal Music Musings. But Casey, which way you want to go?
So, my own people, I have my own brand on my arm for an evening at the movies. So, I'll be going with Nexum.
There you go. See, Chancey, we gotta get matching tattoos one of these days.
See, that's
But,
a tattoo. It's different than a brand, dude. You got to get some
True.
fucking steel bent down and fucking burnt. We did it in our ass, but who's keeping that?
Maybe
That's
we need some tattoos, global strangeness ones.
Fuck yeah, year one right here. All three of us.
Yeah,
I'm in sales. I ain't doing no neck tattoo. But
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Laura,
Peer
which way you want to
pressure.
go?
I work for the government, so no, we're getting old school tattoos and cut off at the wrist and thigh over there because I'm not trying to get MK Ultra or anything like that. I'm not down. I'm cool, but I'm not that cool, Scott. And I think I'm gonna have to go with 12 Tribe because Nixum, it seems like they were a quick cult. So yeah, they had some crazy shit going. Yeah, you got a few crazy ass people in there, but Scott's right. The brands aren't that bad. And and I think that they died off. Whereas the 12 Tribe, I don't know how many generations that truly affected because you're dealing with families. You're not just getting these girls into Hollywood and having a sex cult. Now you're getting whole families, and that could be generational trauma. And so I'd really like to know more about the 12 Tribe, but I'm going to have to go with them.
You are like a social worker too, right? Like the last time I actually saw you was at that leftover crack show, and
Yeah.
my kids were like super fucking young. You're a
Yeah.
social worker now?
I'm actually an eligibility supervisor. I'm a manager, case managers over here for DPSS.
Okay.
And before that, I was in investigation.
Fucking deep.
Yeah, so it's rough for DPSS. And so, I try to play it cool, man.
Well, Malachi, which way you want to go? You gonna tie it up for Chancey, or you gonna go for Nixum?
Dude, I'm going with the 12 tribes. That sounded pretty good, right? You got your wife under your thumb. The kids are out there making the dough. Let's go, son. Let's fucking go. 12 tribes.
And Chancey, that means you get a tiebreaker
Sorry,
between
Don.
Nixum and 12 tribes.
Yeah, I'm with Scott.
Come on, dude.
Sure.
You gotta fucking show the face. Come
Dude, we don't
on.
care. This show's all about being fucked up, Chancey. We don't care if you're fucked up. But I want to see if Casey smacks you after that comment. But we'll see. Casey with a C, that is. But that means FLDS will face 12 tribes in the second round. Oh, there's that fucking
That's
face.
gonna be a hard one, dude.
Yeah, no, that's the point of this. But that brings us to the next matchup, which Deborah's thinking stars out on. And it's the Blackburn cult, or officially called the Divine Order of the Royal Arms of the Great 11. That's a mouthful.
That's a great name.
Or the
That'd
great
be a big brand.
or the Great 11 Club, as they are also known. They are a new religious movement started in 1922, so 100 years ago, by the American woman, started by a woman, May Otis Blackburn. She started the group on Bunker Hill in downtown LA, and later formed a retreat in the Southern California Simi Valley. And she was said to have received revelations directly from angels, and trust me, that comes up a lot in this.
Simi Valley.
Whatever.
Simi Valley.
Simi Valley's whack. Don't worry about it.
East Coast, buddy. And along with her daughter Ruth, believed that she was
cocaine and computers, man. Cocaine and computers.
And along with her daughter Ruth, believed she was charged by the Archangel Gabriel to write books revealing the mysteries of heaven and earth and life and death. Newspaper articles from the period report strange rituals, including the sacrifice of animals, sex scandals, and attempts to resurrect a dead 16-year-old girl.
That shit sounds interesting.
They found the corpse of the young woman under the floor at Rhodes's residence, wrapped in spices and salt and surrounded by the bodies of 7 dead dogs.
Did she come
Were they
back to
making a
life
freaking
though?
rose?
Like, was she Jesus?
So John Wayne Gacy was a part of this cult, or
no, too far west.
That's only a John Wayne Gacy thing, man. Like
too far west. But the parents later confessed to police that they had placed their daughter in the tomb 14 months earlier at the suggestion of May Otis Blackburn. The cult was also accused of killing a member in an oven, poisoning another during a whirling dervish ceremony, and making several other members disappear. But they are facing the family, not to be confused with the Manson family, but
I know,
the family.
that fucked me up, dude.
I know, but that's why I put the last name in parentheses next to that one on the list, Scott. But they're also called the Santiniketan Park Association and the Great White Brotherhood. It's an Australian New Age group formed in the mid-60s under the leadership of yoga teacher Anne Hamilton Byrne. Their headquarters was raided by police on August 14th, 1987, and all children were removed from the premises. In 93, Hamilton Byrne was charged with conspiracy to defraud and commit perjury by falsely registering the births of 3 unrelated children as her own triplets. But those charges were eventually dropped.
Where am I?
Association and the Great White Brotherhood.
What the fuck was that?
Someone has this on, someone's watching us while we're doing it, I think. But she pleaded guilty to the remaining charge of making a false declaration and was fined $5,000. The family taught an eclectic mixture of Christianity and Hinduism and other Eastern and Western religions on the principle that spiritual truth is universal. Blah, 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 blah. No one cares. But the basis of the family was the reincarnation of Jesus Christ and a living God. Jesus was said to be a great master who came down to earth, and the group believed that Buddha and Krishna were other enlightened beings who similarly came down to help humanity. She was regarded in the same category as these teachers, Hamilton Byrne, that is. And one adopted daughter, Sarah Hamilton Byrne, later described the group's beliefs as a hodgepodge of Christianity and Eastern mysticism. So basically, it's a very tame cult compared to other things we've heard. But the first one goes to Deborah. Is it going to be Blackburn or the family?
Oh, Blackburn all the way. I mean, they set some lofty goals or lives, and they're like raising the dead and saying they can do that kind of stuff. Obviously they couldn't. They're a bunch of nuts, but I do admire that they set their goals high. So
yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. Blackburn cult sounds fucking crazy, and they need to do a freaking documentary on them because that sounds insane.
Be a movie. That's scary stuff.
I'm surprised they haven't done a documentary movie on them already, to be perfectly honest. But Casey, which way you want to go?
Yeah, that second one seems like it's kind of light compared to Blackburn. So I'm going to go with Blackburn.
All right. And Laura?
They both sound pretty tame. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could see people in the 1800s just killing a bunch of people too. But they're going to bring angels into it. Sure, we'll go with Blackburn.
Which means Blackburn cult automatically moves on at this point.
What? Was that the first one or the second one?
The first one, Scott.
Oh, okay.
And it's your choice, Scott. So which way would you have gone?
Well, my wife said that the second one or the first one were dog killers. So fuck those people. We're going. With
Yeah,
the
they
second
had
one.
they
Yeah, fuck
go-
the dog killers.
yeah, they had 7 dead dogs next to the body of this dead 16-year-old girl they tried to resurrect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now it's getting hard. We're fuck the dog killers. They already won anyway.
Yeah, true. Chancey, how about you there,
I'm
buddy?
gonna piss.
Go ahead.
Yep, fuck the dog killers.
So another one for the family. But
Yeah.
CJ, bringing up the end here, which way would you have gone?
Mm. You said the first one with the dog killers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go with them. That's a special kind of psycho.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, harming
That's
humans is
yeah, like that's not just a cult. That's like, killing animals is the first sign of a psychopath. So that's getting into Jim Jones territory,
that's getting into Michael Myers territory right there. But yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, Blackburn Colt will move on 5-2. And we're gonna see who they're gonna face, but I get first pick in this one actually. And it's gonna be the True Russian Orthodox Church, a small cult led by Peter, whatever the hell his name is, Kuznetsov. I hate Russian names. Who believed that the Russian Orthodox Church wasn't Orthodox enough, so he formed a doomsday cult in order to teach people how to live more purely. A group of about 30-ish followers, most famously holed up in a I just lost my fucking holed up in a small cave in 2007 in Russia to wait for the end of times that their leader had predicted. They threatened local authorities with mass suicide if anyone intervened. Eventually, a group of women came out in order to be treated by emergency workers for their health issues. Others came out later because the fumes of the dead bodies of their cohorts had become toxic. A couple of the members resumed life in a nearby village, still convinced the end times are upon us. Which, that's all they have on them.
Holy shit! Everybody changed around. What the fuck happened there?
No idea. But so that was the True Russian Orthodox Church, basically just a cult of 30-something people, Russian people who thought the end times were coming and went to a cave to live.
That sounds pretty dope.
They're facing Angel's Landing. Daniel Perez, who later called himself Lou Castro, convinced young women that he was a centuries-old angel, I told you will come up again, who need to have sex with young women in order to continue to live on Earth. Good lie. He convinced women of all ages, even many with young children, to live in a magical commune with him. The most famous one was in Wichita, which I believe is Kansas. He regularly physically and sexually assaulted these women who lived with him, especially the young girls. A handful of his followers died under suspicious circumstances, allowing him to collect their life insurance policies. Eventually, the FBI was tipped off about some of the happenings on the commune after one woman's so-called drowning. Following an investigation and some brave survivors coming forward with the truth, they were able to arrest him. Perez was found guilty of multiple charges, including murder, and serving over 2 life sentences in jail. So you got a crazy Russian guy who thinks his church isn't churchy enough and needs to go live in a cave with 30-something people versus basically a rapist / pedophile.
And his last name was Castro?
Perez. He changed his last name to Castro.
Okay. Well, sorry, Deborah. We're going to have to go away from Justin Trudeau. We're going with the cave people.
Well, Scott, it's my pick, not yours. But yeah, I have to go with Angel's Landing. That's one fucked up dude. And the fact that he's serving multiple life sentences in prison makes me very happy to hear. So I like it when they get caught. When they get caught, it makes it all the more beautiful because it means they get theirs for what they did. And he's probably being abused in prison over and over again. So all the more power to you. But Casey, which way you want to go?
God, either way you go, you're looking at a bunch of fucked up wackadoos.
This whole bracket will be, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to get even wackier before we get done with the first round. Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Russian vodka drinkers.
Oh, dude, you didn't even tell me they were drinking vodka in this cave all the time.
That wasn't
Oh,
in
no.
the information, Scott. But they're Russian, so we could assume. And we're not friends with Russia right now anyway, so fuck them. But
Oh, speak for yourself.
oh, maybe you are. You're in your anti-American bliss. But Laura, if you're there, which way you want to go?
Sir, I work with all Russians. They are scary as shit and they all drink, sir. I'm going with those Russians. And also the Orthodox Catholic spinoff. No, we're going with the Russians. That's scary as hell.
Well, they dissolved anyway, but
Wait.
Scott?
Then I retract my statement. Are the other ones still alive and well and still trying to run a cult?
no, because he's in prison for 2 life sentences.
That's what I thought. Well, so is the Mormon leader, right? But he's still pulling strings. But that's okay. All right. No, let's go with the Russians. Thank you.
And Malachi, which way you want to go?
Malachi, that's my name. Russians, man. They live in a cave. That sounds like fucking
Sounds like Scott's
Neverland
Paradise.
Pirate Village.
That sounds like Scott's Paradise, living in a cave away from society.
Yeah.
And just so you know, Scott, I did tell Chansey that Malachi came out of the cornfields to demand his presence on this show. So
I didn't get that. That went way over my head, dude. I'm sorry. I pre-gamed.
dude, when I'm the one drinking all day and I'm more, but Chansey, which way you want to go there?
Yeah, the creepy family one.
Jancy, look up into
Yeah.
my screen. You're running through a forest. You're running through a forest. Tree. Damn.
So what'd you say, Chansey? The fucked up family one?
Yeah,
I'm guessing you mean Angel's Landing then?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, James is drinking vodka. James does drink.
And CJ, which way you want to go?
You got to go with the Russians, man, because straight up, I can't in good conscience ever give my vote to a pedophile. So,
Oh, I didn't even know the other guy was a pedophile. What the fuck?
You heard that one, Scott.
I
just,
in and out.
I don't care how horrific it is. You know, we can only hope that he's suffering the most brutal of punishments in prison, but I can't vote for a pedophile. I just can't, even in a cult bracket.
I mean, I don't blame you. And you know what happens to pedophiles in prison, so I'm pretty sure it's what's happening to him right now.
We can only hope.
You didn't vote for the FLDS, right? Because those are all pedophiles.
But Deborah,
I kind of did, but that was a little.
It's wholesome
Yeah.
family shit, right? Like they're related to him, whatever.
but Deborah, which way you want to go?
I give it to the Russians living in the cave.
Which means the Russian Orthodox Church moves on to face the Blackburn cult 5-2. Now, this next matchup, I put the second cult in especially for Scott and Chancey to have a special little argument over, but we'll get to that in a second. Because the first one is called Hohohana San Pogyo. And it's considered one of the most bizarre cults ever to exist. It was all about charging exorbitant fees for fundraising and foot readings. The leader, Hogan Fukunaka, would tell people that they had to join his community or they would have to pay huge fees in order to get a reading. Otherwise, they or their loved ones would die. Those threats would continue if they didn't keep paying them or supporting his causes. Some people claim their loved ones even died in mysterious circumstances while at the trainings. Especially Fukunaga was accused of fraud and forced to pay out millions of dollars. And it's going against this one that Scott and Chancey can argue over in a bit, the Carney cult. And it kicked off in 91 after a traveling carney named William Alt discovered some of his fellow carnies were engaged in a new cult called Satan's Disciples. This cult, however, already had a number of members, 4 to be exact, and they weren't open to new members. Alt's hand was forced, and blackmailing the cult, the wayward carney found himself in an even stickier place. After his fumbled attempts at blackmail, the group invited him out to a secluded area where they drove him up to a makeshift altar. The group, instead of welcoming him, bound and gagged him. They tortured him and mutilated the desperate man, driving him right into the arms of death as they invoked Satan and called on him to give them special powers and wealth. When they were finished, the 4 men cut off Alt's head and hands. They also attempted to burn him, which failed. In the end, they dumped his body in a field. The horrible sight was discovered by the father of 2 of the men involved. All 4 members of the cult were later arrested, tried, and sentenced to a range of 8 to 60 years between them. So
that just sounds like the carnival, dude. Chancey, you were in the circus, right?
You're muted, Chancey.
No, I was actually 2 generations removed.
Okay, so there's like everybody always used to say that Scott ran away with the circus. People in the circus have talent. All you need in the carnival is to smoke meth and work 7 days a week, 16-hour days. Okay, so like, and that fucking cult sounds right on par.
So basically, it's an Asian extortionist ring versus a couple carnies who went crazy and killed the guy who was trying to blackmail them. And the first and the first vote goes to me. And to me, an extortionist ring isn't a cult per se. It's just a group of people trying to make money. So I'm gonna go with the Carney cult because even though they were a smaller cult called Satan something or other, they weren't really the Carney cult to begin with. But any cult with Satan in it is just my childhood fantasies. So I'm gonna go with that. But Casey, which way you want to go?
Oh, I could go with the one that I can't pronounce, or Satan's bunghole. Yeah, let's go with Satan's bunghole.
The Carney cult, that's another. Which I literally threw this one in. I was looking for a couple extras for this one. I literally found this one for Scott, and I was like, "Ooh, that's going in." Because Scott was a Carney. But Laura, which way you want to go?
Carney
answer right.
Carney cult, you know it. And I want to know if Scott has any background knowledge or has ever heard of this because it's really interesting and I want to know.
I didn't know any of this shit.
It was 4 carnies out of all the carnies in America. I mean, come on.
Well, they've gotten, but when did this Carney cult come out? Because even by the time I was in the carnival, like B&B and the other one had already pretty much bought up everybody. There were a couple small carnivals.
91, Scott. 91.
Yeah, probably by that time, even B&B had come through and corporatized the shit.
Well, yeah, but Scott, it's your choice. Is Carney cult moving on, or are you gonna go with Ho Naga Sankoiko?
Tilt crew, dude. Tilt crew all the way.
Which means the Carney cult is moving on. But which way you want to go, Chancey?
Carney cult for sure.
Oh, the circus.
Word of the circus boy.
JoJo goes with the Carney cult. But which way you want to go, CJ?
You gotta go with the Carney cult, man. That's like some straight Rob Zombie,
Firefly gang type shit.
Yeah, that's like some fucking Captain Howdy type of shit, or whatever I can't even remember what his name was.
Captain Spaulding.
Captain Spaulding, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Twisted Sister, Captain Howdy. Yeah, but some Captain Howdy type of shit too. But yeah, that's some straight like Captain Spaulding type of shit, like.
All right.
That's just as you were reading that, immediately what I thought, I was like, wait, I think I saw this in a zombie movie. Like,
well, Deborah, bringing up the rear here, is going to be our first sweep of the whole bracket so far.
It is definitely Carney cult. That sounds like I just like the name. Just sounds fun.
It would not be as fun when you're actually living it. It's good to look back on. But, it's more like a bunch of taken apart VCRs and Sprite bottles filled with piss and meth everywhere.
Well, put it this way.
Carney cult.
Every carnival I've ever been to, anytime I wear a juggalo, anything juggalo, or show my tattoo off, there's always one carny who's like, juggalo, woohoo! And so I love carnies for that reason, but because they run with the carnival of carnage there. But
we're there to steal your money.
and
Amen. But
This is
It's-
the cult that I would watch a documentary about. Like I'm not big on documentaries, but like make this documentary, I'd be there. You know, like this is
Down.
and
Yeah.
they're gonna to see who the Carney cult's gonna face. This next matchup, Casey gets to start. And the first cult is the Movement for the Restoration of the Ten Commandments of God.
That sounds
they-
fucking awesome.
They have one of the highest death counts of any cult in history.
Yeah.
Originally founded as a so-called Christian or movement to make people follow the Ten Commandments with more reverence, it slowly morphed into a doomsday cult with a very doomed ending. Many of the group's members were former nuns and priests who had become disillusioned with the corruption in the Ugandan government and in the Catholic Church in general. They wanted a way to practice and worship that was pure, and they were drawn to both these teachings and the charismatic church leadership. For a while, the group lived communally on a farm, each member helping others both physically and financially in order to thrive. They even had a school for their youth. Before its ugly demise, it was accused of child labor, of course, possible kidnapping and unsanitary conditions. In March 2000, the leadership determined that the world was ending, and they made sure to do so by violently and surprisingly killing 530 members in a large explosion that was supposed to be a party. After this horrific act, more murder bodies were found all around, making their final death toll nearly 1,000 people. And they're going against
Well,
the
hold up.
church.
Is this one still around? Can we join?
No, they killed 1,000 people. They're
Oh.
gone.
Okay.
But they're going against the Church of the Firstborn of the Lamb of God.
This sounded good too. Like, Jesus Christ.
Which this one, the son of charismatic preacher in the Mormon community, there you go, Scott, Ervol LeBaron, wasn't happy when his father didn't clearly cede his entire legacy and following to his son. With 4 other brothers all stalking claim to their father's following, Ervol decided to do his own thing, create his own cult where he ruled with an iron fist. There were religious preachings mixed up in the cult, specifically surrounding the practice of polygamy. He had multiple wives and even married off 2 of his daughters to the same man on the same day. Well, talk about saving money. But most of the everyday happenings centered around shady dealings and violent murders. If you crossed Ervol or wanted to leave the group, he would send one of his main children or loyal followers to either threaten or kill you, or sometimes you have one of his wives do so as well. Well, they're loyal. He
Hell
seemed to
yeah,
always.
they
Pro-
are.
he
I've
seemed to
tried
always.
tell my wife to kill people. She never follows through.
He seemed to always promise that the murderer would secure their place in heaven. He died in jail in 1981, but wrote a manifesto that his sons carried out after his death. So you're either voting for the religious group that destroyed 1,000 people with a bomb, or the crazy Mormon cult where basically everybody was murdering everybody. And Casey, you get the first pick on this one. Is it the Ten Commandments or the Lamb of God?
Yeah, I don't know how the hell I got lucky with this one. Freaking drop a freaking bomb on Japan and kill 1,000 people, or freaking
It was Uganda, not Japan, but yeah.
Oh shit,
Oh.
man! I thought they had all the cool
Wrong-
artwork and bonsai.
Wrong cult. Wrong cult
Thousand-
for Japan.
still 1,000 people, but blah 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 blah. Yeah. Oh, fuck it. Let's go with the 1,000 dead bodies.
Sounds like a Disturbed song, but which way you want to go, Laura?
Never heard of the Uganda one, but that sounds petrifying. I wanted to vote for them, but then when you mentioned the second one, I've heard a lot about them. I'm sorry, the name again?
The Church of the Church of the Firstborn of the Lamb of God.
You got to go with LeBaron. That whole entire story was so sickening. So, I mean, I kind of want to go with Uganda because that sounds horrific, but no, we're going with LeBaron for sure.
Honestly, the Uganda one sounds like another Pol Pot incident almost. But Scott, which way you want to go there, buddy?
Dude, the fucking the first one, man, they were true to their beliefs. I'm going that way all the way, right?
The believer.
Well, I mean,
like I wish I could join. What the fuck?
if you want to go to a party that's supposed to be fun and get blown up by a bomb, I guess. But
Hey, do you guys want to follow the 10 Commandments? Because we can move to an island.
I'm good on that. But Chancey, which way you want to go there, buddy? If you're not passed out before.
I'm not passed out.
Yet.
Yeah.
He ain't making it through this whole shit,
Nope.
dude.
I will.
So is it the bomb cult or is it the crazy Mormon cult where everybody's sleeping and killing everybody?
Power of Michael Myers compels you.
Talk about needing some meth. Jesus Christ.
The sleepy Mormon cult.
There you go. And CJ, which way you want to go?
I go with the LeBarons, man. Like I am really, really, really familiar with this one. They were a different freaking kind of crazy, man. Like they were, like they had like 18 different mental illnesses that, like, if you read the story about this group, the dad was just out there. The kids were out there because they were never taught any different. The daughters were out there. Every member of this group, they were killers. They did exactly what the old man said without question, because if they didn't, he would kill them. And they killed a lot of people, attempted to kill even more. Man, they were just a different kind of, they were like the Manson family on fucking steroids with crazy Mormon ideology to back it up. And like I said, there's been multiple movies made about them. The main one, Brian Dennehy, how he says his name, he played Orville, and they were scary. Like they were real life scary because
it's generational trauma, and you get that generational trauma, or you get somebody like the kids who have never known anything else, and that's when it's the most scary, when you have somebody that will believe to their utter core that they're doing the right thing by killing others. That's
and
scary.
the kids are still alive. The sons are still alive. They're in their 70s and 80s, but they're still batshit crazy. They just, the government's never really been able to prove the majority. Like even Orville, when he finally did go to prison, it was only on a very small number of charges. It barely scratched the surface. I mean, it was almost like a Capone thing. They caught him on very small technicalities, but there was probably more than 150 people were probably killed over the years. Witnesses would disappear or just literally were so terrified to go to the police that they refused. Like even when they were offered government protection, witness protection, they were just like, no, they'll find us and they'll kill us. Like this is one of those cults. Like I said, I know a lot about these guys, and they were a different breed of crazy. Like,
are the kids still alive? Let's get them on our fucking show.
The kids, the grandkids. There's like 2 generations of grandkids now, and like they're not like going out committing crimes now because the old man is dead. But if the old man was still alive, they'd probably still be committing crimes. Like they were.
You said they were like 70, dude. Like,
I mean, the sons are.
I want them on the show. Let's get them on.
But
if you're watching.
Like I said, dude, they were a different kind of crazy. I mean, they were in the intersection of time between the 70s and the 80s, before the FBI got their shit together and could link crimes between states. And they were crossing the line between Utah and Idaho and Washington. So they were
before penal before penal codes for the kids too. So this is all happening completely legal.
Yeah, they were having, the kids do it because the kids couldn't be touched. At the most, they'd put them in juvenile for a year or something. And I mean, like I said, it was a different kind of crazy, bro. Like trust me, they were some sadistic fuckers, man. Like
Well, Deborah, which way you want to go?
Well, the second one, it sounds like it's a mix between the mafia, some like crazy ass biker gang, and some weird religious cult. So it kind of checks all the boxes for a great movie. It's probably the one I would be really scared to run into. So I'm going to go with them.
Honestly, it sounds more like the Firefly cult than the other freaking Carney thing we talked about. So,
yeah.
And it just sounds insane, but I much agree with you. The second one is just insane. Like, I haven't read any of these before reading them here, so just so everybody knows, if I act surprised, if that's why, because this is like reading horror porn, basically. But
I mean, the LeBarons weren't sadistic in the sense of like torturing somebody. They just didn't give a shit. Like one person, they went after him. They just blew they didn't know if he was in the house or not, but they didn't want to take a chance. So they just blew the whole fucking house up. And when the guy lived, they went to his job and then they blew his car up, you know, and they kept blowing shit up trying to get the same guy. So, I mean, they were persistent in, you know, like.
Well, Deborah's right then. Sounds like some mafia shit. But the next matchup is going to get started by Laura. And it's going to be the Kashi Ashram, which continue to claim to be nothing but a peaceful retreat center where soul-seeking volunteers come to unwind, give back, and get more spiritual self-awareness. Its active website and community preaches retreats, peaceful teachings, and a relaxed yoga oriented.
Hold up. What is their website? Because I am bringing that shit up right now, my friend.
Just Google Kashi Ashram. KSK.
Okay, you get ready. Go through your speech. I'm gonna Google it after you're done.
All right.
After you're done with this one, tell me how to spell it, because I'm not very good at spelling.
But the compound, I know this, but the compound founded by Joyce Green, known simply as Majaya, has had a number of complaints filed against it. People have come forward claiming that the belief system is a cult, centered largely on the idea that Majaya is a self-proclaimed prophet who uses her followers' fervent beliefs to engage in a number of physical, emotional, verbal, and substance abuses against them. She encourages them to buy her number of precious jewelry and gemstones, and even asks them to help break into spiritual teacher Ram Dass' New York City apartment. On the commune, she arranged marriages between devotees who didn't know each other, even marrying off her own daughters to devoted church members. She died in 2012, but the community and compound continue to this day. And Scott
sounds like a fucking pimp, dude. How do you spell this shit?
Scott, it's spelled K-A-S-H-I.
Hold on. K-A-S-H-I.
Space. A-S-H-R-A-M.
I'm looking at it right now. She's got
okay, cool.
Google it, and she's got
they're in Florida too? Like, holy shit, dude. This is a winner chicken dinner.
Let me get
.org. Come on, hold up. We're looking at this real quick.
Well, while you bring that up, Scott, let me go to the next cult so that people could decide. The cult they're going against is called the Kirtland cult, named for the town where the gruesome happenings went down. It was a group of people that followed the orders of Jeffrey. Okay, I gotta see this. Oh my god, that does look gorgeous.
I know.
Yeah, they're all happy, like doing yoga and shit. Look, they got a little dog. Oh my god.
You could donate. Of course you can.
Sign up.
Do you want to donate right now? Hey, listeners, you guys want to donate right now?
Where's the
calendar by
keep
month?
it going.
What do we got here? We got some shit going on. Hold on, I gotta grab this mic. So deepening into meditation at 8 a.m. That would be today. We already missed that. Okay.
That was April 1st, man. That's not today.
Oh shit. What is okay?
Well, what was on April 20th? We got to see what was on April 20th, man, because that was like
Darshan Zoom. It was a Zoom meeting. Look at that.
But today you could have had some yoga class.
Okay, so yeah, today is yoga, and
no
then
drugs.
tomorrow is more yoga. Like
it's a yoga. It's a yoga retreat that's hiding a lot of shit, but basically, it's going against the Kirtland cult, which was they follow the orders of Jeffrey.
Look at that double rainbow. Trying to put these people down. Give me a break.
All right, Scott, but the Kirtland cult follow the orders of Jeffrey Lundgren, no relation to Dolph Lundgren, I'm pretty sure, but Jeffrey Lundgren was raised in the reorganized Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they keep coming up for some reason. A former preacher.
Why.
Yeah, me too. But a former preacher at the Kirtland Temple, he was accused of embezzling funds from the community and was eventually fired in 1987. But his influence already grown, his own cult was formed. He forced followers to give him both money and devotion, along with calling him Dad. He was officially excommunicated from the RLDS Church as his messages became more paranoid and violent. One family of 5 devoted followers, the Avery family, kept a small amount of money for themselves, which Lundgren considered sinful. despite the fact they were otherwise completely devoted to him, included following him into the woods. He told the rest of his followers that they would need to be the blood sacrifice to ensure everyone else had success. So Lundgren and a group of his followers murdered the whole family one violent night. Finally, one of the followers left the group and told the cops about the Avery family, which led to the disbanding of the cult and justice for the murdered family. Lundgren was eventually given the death sentence and was killed by lethal injection in 2006. So, yeah. So basically, you got a yoga retreat that does things behind the scenes versus
Getting shit done behind the scenes.
versus Latter-day Saints and one offshoot of them that decided to go crazy and kill a family because they did the same thing he did, basically. So you got one pissed off guy versus a yoga retreat. And this one gets started off by Laura.
If I had a nickel for every cult that offspring from FDLS, let me tell you, I'd be rich. No, I'm gonna go with the first one because there's still an act today, and I don't trust that shit. They look like a retreat that takes money from like addicts who want to become somebody new, and in reality, they're just taking people's money and then trying to brainwash them, and then see how far that gets. No, we'll have to go with the first Krishni or whatever. Krishna.
You know what's the scariest part, and not to hate anybody that's been on my podcast. I've interviewed people who run yoga retreats like this in other countries, and there's been no findings by me of them doing anything else or suspected of doing anything else. But still, I've interviewed people that run yoga retreats before for my show. So
fucking haters, right? Fucking haters.
But Scott, which way you want to go? Yoga retreat or Kirtland cult?
Dude, when you started saying blood sacrifice, I was there, but like we saw their website, right? That shit looks nice. I think we should all just like join. Right
those are
now.
different cults, Scott. Blood sacrifice wasn't the same cult as the yoga retreat.
No, that's what I'm saying. I almost got like switched off for the blood sacrifice. That sounds pretty cool. But we're going with the kick-ass, the fucking kick-ass website, man. They did a pretty good job. It looks good. I would join.
I feel like you would join a lot of things, Scott, if you were offered. But Chancey, which way you want to go?
So I can take over.
The blood sacrifice.
Yeah, I get it. I feel that.
Chancey's metal side just came out. Talking about some Rain and Blood by Slayer here. But CJ, speaking of Slayer, which way you want to go?
I'm gonna go with the yoga retreaters because that's kind of creepy, scary that one, they're still in operation, even with all the proposed going on that have happened, and the fact that they just kind of make it look like this weekend at the spa type of thing, kind of is even creepier because hey, let's go to the spa. The next thing you know, you're in a fucking horror movie.
What actually happened with the yoga retreat, though? Like that seems
it's still open. The website's still active.
Okay, but like, what did they do? What's so bad about what they did? They offed a couple people. Yeah, so is every other group.
And child rape. If you
I didn't hear about the child rape.
Yeah,
you keep googling past the fancy website or stuff. There's things, accusations, and she looks like a crazy bitch.
See, Jeremy, learn from Deborah. Doing the research.
Do the research, you guys, before you sign up to that thing.
I don't sign up to anything, man. I have a woman who's working with me to find my true purpose in life, but she's doing it for free, so I'm all down for it. But
that sounds like a fucking problem, my friend.
Like
a fucking
problem. Nah. Jassy Jackson, I truly trust. She is she's a very kind soul, and it's all over Zoom, so I don't have to go anywhere and get killed.
Did you say Jesse Jackson?
Jassy Jackson, not Jesse Jackson.
Jassy? Like, you can't even trust somebody with the name Jassy. Come on now.
Only reason I'm not mad at you is because she won't be watching this anyway. So, but which way do you want to go there? As long as you don't bring what's her name on, I'm good. But
he doesn't like Brittany, Cherry.
What did Brittany come on all sauced? Because
Yes, yes, 100% yes.
But hey, she's a good egg. She's a good egg once you like if it's real life. But if she's a little sauced on Zoom,
Well,
Oh.
she brought a whole crusty party with her.
Yeah.
bitch, really. She's nothing if not a part of her clan. You got to give it to her because she's dedicated.
She's part of her cult. Yes, I get that. But
A loyal person. Dude.
Yeah, I love Brittany, but
I get it. But I mean, if I met her sober, it'd be a different story probably. But
of course.
but I mean, then again, I met Scott sober, and look at me now. But
Suck, bitch.
Deborah, which way you want to go? Kirtland cult or Kashi Ashram?
Oh, I'm going the Kachi Asham because how innovative to get with the times and get a website. And I mean, half these people want to sign up. Pretty effective. Like,
Sold me.
right? Like
Sold
they
me.
are good marketers, if nothing else, but they are nasty if you keep researching. So
All right. And that brings it down to me. And Kashi Ashram already won. So I'll throw a vote to the Kirtland cult because
I feel sorry for them.
religions. Just religions. That's all I have to say. That's why I'm not a religious person, because of this shit. But which way you want to go, Casey, to finish this off?
Yeah, there's just something really creepy about having a nice, big, beautiful front of a website. And then once they get you inside, that's when they start to freaking crazy psychotic shit. So I'm going to go with the website people.
Fuck yeah. Website people in the fucking house.
And they'll move on. But to see who they're going to face, we have our first play-in of the night here. And I had to actually change. The first cult on this play-in was not on the list, Scott and Deborah and Chansey.
Can you explain that? Because I've done like 3 of your shows and then you did one of ours.
Play-ins,
what is the play-in?
Play-ins are separate matches that determine between two who's going to be in the first round.
And they're
Because
not on the list.
Well, this first one's not on the list because I accidentally put the Kirtland cult in twice and I had to change one out. But
Okay.
So the first one, and I found this one today and I found it amusing. So I add this one because it's amusing. It's called the Superior Universal Alignment. It's a UFO cult, which is right in our line of our show. They're a pseudo-religious cult formed in Brazil in the 80s, led by Valentina de Andrade. They believe Jesus was an alien, which a lot of people do nowadays, so that's not too far-fetched. But they also believed he would return to rescue believers at the end of times, aka Scientology in a way. That's not where they even proved problematic or even strange, though. They became an issue when the strange belief that all boys born after 1981 had to be purged from the world. Oh fuck, I'd be dead.
I'm not good with that.
They forced followers to
I'm
leave.
safe.
They forced followers to leave their families behind and abandon their children, all in an effort to be cleansed enough to join her on the spaceship. Predictably, though, things got violent between 1989 and 1993 when the cult began, and here we go, sexually assaulting, mutilating, and killing young boys. In total, at least 19 boys were victimized or killed by the semi-religious sect. They range in age from 8 to 13 years old. While 6 of them died, another 5 of them at least were never found. Some escaped, but not before being drugged and subjected to the horrors of assault and mutilation. And they are going against, and I can't pronounce this for shit, Shinriko.
Yes.
Also,
It's Shinryu.
Shinryu. Okay.
Yes.
Also
I was
known as
waiting to see if you were gonna have these guys on there. This is my number one right here, man. Like
they were on the list. They were on the list of the 30 most dangerous cults of all time. So, and under the leaders of they believed in a pending apocalypse, like a lot of these cults, and under orders of their leader Shoko Ashara, they carried out an attack on a busy Tokyo commuter train that killed 13 people and injured many more. The idea behind it, yeah, well, social media for you. But the idea behind the attack was to trigger the beginning of the Third World War to help bring forward the apocalypse. It wasn't the first time this group it wasn't the first time this group had acted violently, as they had previously done the same in Matsumoto, killing 8 people in the process. After the arrest and subsequent execution of its leadership, the cult seems to have disbanded, So, though some signs suggest it still exists under the name Hikari, and it cut off there, but Hikari no Wa. So
are they
yeah.
Japanese?
Yes, they're Japanese.
Well, wouldn't they be on our side?
Debatable, but the first choice in this one goes to you, Scott. Is it going to be the UFO cult or the Japanese killers?
When you were talking about a UFO cult, even though I don't really believe in aliens, but you said Brazil. That's where I want to live. But then they're like fucking molesting boys. So Japanese culture is pretty cool. I like bonsai trees and I like the way they make their buildings. So I'm going to go Japan.
Moose, don't pee on boxes, you freaking dick. But Chancey, which way you want to go?
UFO cult.
Yeah. And CJ?
Where the fuck?
I'm going with Amson Ryu because that was like another kind of.
I'm gonna pee.
They're up there with the Liberans, man. Like they were fucking crazy, and they like literally tried wiping out the city of Tokyo, man. Like they released sarin gas. They are they're the only people to ever successfully release like a mass casualty event, like in that, like a dirty bomb type of thing. They're the only ones to successfully ever do it. And they, they wounded like 6,000 people, man. Like, one woman's eyes literally had to be cut out of her head because her eyes melted and were like physically like welded to her skull. And
Like she opened like she opened the box in Ark of the Covenant. So yeah.
Like it was grotesque, man. Like if you can see the pictures of it if you Google it, and the damage that they did to people. I mean, it was horrific. And the fact that it was in Tokyo, which is, massively populated, very close, packed in. The fact that it only killed 30 plus people is miraculous because, like sarin gas in a subway that had tens of thousands of people in it, it should have killed 100. It should have killed 100 times more people. So, I mean, it was just a different kind of execution, and the fact that they did it with the Japanese government being as tight knit, like very little goes on in Japan that the police don't know about. So for them to pull this off, it was, it was really crazy. And like I said, they're one of my favorite cults because the leader was so colorful and they were crazy and they were true believers, man. Like they were willing to die for the cause. And there were many, many levels to this. Like if this one wasn't successful, they had 10 more lined up for the day after and the week after and the month after. So they were going to do it one way or another, man.
All right. Well, Deborah, which way you want to go?
Well, I was going to say UFO until I heard about them, but like I got to say the Japanese one, it's like they at least have some sort of twisted social agenda or whatever belief system. The other ones are just a bunch of creepy pedophile fucks. So yeah, I'm going with the what was the name of the second one? The Japanese one?
Shinryu.
Japan.
Yeah, going with them.
I'll let him say it from now on. But I'm personally gonna go to
K is silent.
crazy Japanese terrorists do not interest me anywhere near as much as UFO cult does. So, especially in Brazil, no matter what they did to little boys, God help those little boys. But I'm gonna go with the UFO cult because anything UFO based is my thing. So, but Casey, which way you want to go?
UFOs or high karate? Fuck it, let's go high karate.
Which means, say it again there, CJ.
Japan.
Shinryu.
Which means that one is going into the first round, and I don't think they're going to make it out of the first round, but we'll see. But the last vote goes down to Laura.
UFOs all the way. I'm with the UFOs. And although it was really, really scary about, Japan, and that's horrific. And I didn't know about that. So thank you for enlightening me. But it was 30 people. And if you guys, I love The Simpsons. And this really just sounds like when Homer was a part of the cult and they had the leader.
The Stonecutters, yeah.
No, not the Stonecutters, the one where he had the leader and they had the whole entire family. And oh my God, it's like they had a being that looked like the leader. And other than the boys getting mutilated and killed, that's literally the whole entire episode. And it was like season 1 through 12, but it was really, really good. And it reminds me of that story, UFO cult all the way.
Which doesn't matter because the Japanese cult's moving on to the first round. But on this
shit, burn to the face.
on this last matchup of this side of the first round, the Japanese cult is facing a famous cult, the Anthill Kids.
That sounds badass.
Which the Anthill Kids were a clear example of a cult that centered around one main charismatic and dangerous cult leader, Roque Firalt, I believe it's how pronounced. After being removed from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, well, there you go, they're strict as shit, for preaching radical views that it couldn't support, Firalt used his charm to form his own group under the name Mose. He made his followers live on a commune with him, insisting that all female members must be impregnated as a religious rule, often by him.
Sounds like a young boy made this cult.
He had multiple wives and concubines, and his word was the only rule of law in the commune. He even insisted on knowing how to heal his followers. He was eventually arrested in 1989 for the assault and was subsequently charged with murder of multiple followers, a woman, an infant, and 2 people he administered homeopathic healing to, who subsequently died. He died from a prison stabbing in 2011. So basically, you got someone who just wants to get laid versus CJ's famous Japanese killers here. And
that guy sounds like a pimp, dude.
He does in a very horrific way.
He was kind of like he
just found a way to get laid over and over again, basically, like a lot like the Mormons did. But no offense, CJ, but yeah. I guess if I wear lucky underwear, I'll get laid more often. But don't tell my wife I said that.
I got 6
I'm
kids.
telling you, where is your wife? Normally, your wife's like right by you.
I podcast in my basement now, Scott. Hence the background that you hate because I disappear from it all the time.
Your head's all fucked up. It just trips me out, dude.
Internal or external? I mean, both ways work. But this one's gonna get started off by Chancey, I believe.
Who has to show his face? What the fuck, dude? We've been staring at like a chair post or some shit. Come on, get the face up there. Get yourself a stand.
The Japanese terrorist cult.
Wasn't that last episode?
No, that's this episode. But
okay.
Chancey, I'm surprised. I thought you would have loved the Anthill Kids. I was sure you heard of them.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
I mean, even I knew that name before I freaking looked it up. But CJ, which way you want to go? I'm pretty sure right now.
Yeah, this is actually a really hard one. There's actually a movie about them called Savage Messiah that is, tells the whole story of Roque LaRue. I'm gonna go with Sheree because just they killed more people and they were more psychotic, I guess. Like dude was crazy, but his thing was more, he was a masochist. So his thing was more masochism and just controlling people. And he wasn't really a true psychopath per se. Like he didn't intend to kill people. He just wanted to control them, and he had the religious element to go with it. And the biggest thing that kind of made them famous is they had so many run-ins with child services and the government, because the neighbors were constantly calling child services. These kids are being beaten, these kids are being abused, get these kids out of here. And child services just essentially failed because no matter how many times they went to court, they just kind of refused to listen and believe. So it just kept happening over and over. So yeah, but I got to go with the Japanese ones because,
All right.
you know, I mean, they were killer Buddhists, man. Like, how often do you hear about killer Buddhists? Like,
Well, sounds like a gore song, honestly. But Deborah, which way you want to go?
War.
I'm gonna go
War.
with the Anthill kids because it just sounds like a out of control adolescent.
Hell yeah.
And it always shocks me how people like that get followers. Like, how does that sound good to anyone to sign up to that? It just sounds like
How does one kid get to fucking brand people in the parking lot with some wire they found in the middle?
But
Right.
A lot of
Deborah-
alcohol. A lot of alcohol.
Exactly.
exactly.
Kevin.
But I'm gonna go with
"Okay, computers.
I'm gonna go with Anthill Kids as well because I've heard of them before and
Fuck yeah.
they are truly psycho. And I mean, these religious people that just want to get laid, like if it wasn't
Yeah,
for the
it's
methods
played
they
out,
use,
dude. It's played
it
out.
is, but if it wasn't for the method they use, I would have respect for them. But the methods they use are horrible. So you
Gets
could
to
just
be
go,
rape at this point, right?
just go to the mall, put your head on backwards, let your pants sag a little bit, you'll get laid. Like Jesus, it's not that hard. But Casey, which way you want to go?
I just turned my head around backward because you ordered it. Yeah, I mean,
dating advice from Jeremy there, just so you know.
well,
It worked so well for me in high school, so well. But
I mean, the high karate people are wackadoos, but I knew Ant Hill long before I'd ever heard of high karate, so we'll go with Ant Hill.
all right, and Laura, if you're done giving yourself a manicure there.
Don't judge.
Multitasking. Come
Hey.
on now.
So I took night classes, even though I work for the government, and I do nails now. So I'm actually putting on a full entire set. And I just did my toes while listening to this. So multitasking for the win. And I don't know shit about Anthill. I'm gonna go with the Japanese crazy people.
Oh, fuck off. Come on.
Which-
SWAT squad. What
I'm
happened?
to get the grain. I'm
What
sorry.
happened?
Which
That's
I
kinda-
mean,
That's kind of shocking in a way because with your job and all, it seems like they were like almost a classic case study.
I will be Googling shortly after this. Trust me. Trust me.
There's a movie. There's literally a movie called Savage Messiah
Oh,
about
yeah.
it.
Let me write that down. I want to see that shit. Hold on.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, I got to write that down because I kind of want to see that too. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully they don't get too graphic with what happens, but
It's kind of weird. It's half documentary, half movie.
Yeah. they try to-
so like TCM, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like
Chances-
yeah, like if Texas Chainsaw Massacre was a cult movie, then yeah.
And
but
thank you, Casey.
you know,
And I was gonna say, Chancey is lit up when I said Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So
Well, you talked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You're right in freaking Chance's wheelhouse now.
oh, that I know.
Did somebody
Chancey,
kill someone with the chainsaw? Am I missing something?
no, no, but just similar things about it being half documentary, half
Oh.
movie. But I mean,
like
Texas-
it comes off almost like a documentary, but it's actually enacted. It doesn't have the actual people in it, but it kind of is filmed like it in the beginning, and then it goes into the whole story, and then it kind of comes back to the sort of documentary-ish type of thing at the end where it, you know, blah 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 blah, all this happened and whatnot. And it's, you know, dude was a masochist and a psychopath for sure. Like he just
I mean, Chancey always gets mad because I say I like the newer TCM remake better than the original, but
yeah,
the 90s
Cut
version.
his mic.
But
Cut his mic.
Yeah,
That's some
right.
That's some
This-
bullshit.
Whose mic am I cutting? I'll
That's
cut
what
it
I'm saying.
right now.
That's
Give
what
me
I'm
15
saying.
minutes.
But so that brings down this tiebreaker.
Hold on, I didn't get
Just-
to fucking vote on shit.
This because it brings down the tiebreaker to you. Let me fucking finish.
Okay. I ain't mad at you, stay up, player.
So Scott, is it Anthill Kids or High Karate?
Dude, when the kids are united, they will never be divided. Anthill kids all the fucking way. All the fucking way.
Which means Anthill kids will face the yoga retreat in the,
Oh,
in the
fuck. I was
second
the
round.
tiebreaker?
Yes, Scott.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well,
Stealing liquor from Savon's, Albertsons.
an hour and a half in here. We're gonna jump into the second half of round one. And it's gonna get
This is
started
gonna
off
be a
by
long episode.
they always are when it's brackets, get used to it. But it's gonna be CJ starting this one off. And it's the Order of the Solar Temple. Supposedly found
Order
on
of
the
the
beliefs.
Phoenix?
Badass.
Yeah, not Order of the Phoenix, but supposedly found in the beliefs of knights. They found themselves in the midst of a number of controversies in 1995, including mass suicides and murders. There's still much secrecy surrounding the church's structured hierarchy. The beliefs themselves are rooted in Christian doctrine, but under the leadership of specifically of Joseph D. Mamblo, things have become gruesome quickly. In 1994, one of the members' infant sons was repeatedly stabbed at an altar, claiming the child was the Antichrist. DiMambro also encouraged mass suicides and murders in his circle, including bullets, smothering, and ingesting poison. For some of the mass murders, groups were found with their bodies positioned in specific ritualistic shapes and formations like stars or circles. DiMambro would eventually die in a mass suicide along with his followers. And they're going against...
Well, hold up a second. He didn't try to fuck all of his followers' wives. So
not
like,
that
no. One up on him.
But it's going against Ekkankar, Ekkankar. It's the largest cult you've likely never heard of. It's a holistic belief system that teaches you to use music, sounds, and light to call in the presence of the Holy Spirit. It was founded by Paul Twitchell. It uses various mantras to detach the soul from the body so that the soul may experience other planes of existence. Part of what is most appealing about ECK, as it's known, I can't say that word right now, is the fact that you can do it in addition to whatever other religion you can choose to practice. With enough practice and devotion, you can become an ECK master, which means you can toe the line between physical reality and divine connection. All it takes is a lot of time, believing wholly in the doctrine without questioning its, questionable origins, and of course, a hefty ongoing donation to the Organization for Education workshops and classes. Deborah, it sounds like your astral projection class is there.
Hey, keep that on the down low. Remember, Deborah's ashamed of us. That's why she didn't bring any of her friends.
She has the right to be ashamed of us, Scott. I'm not gonna hate her for that.
I get
a lot of people are ashamed of us. So, but this one's gonna start off with. Oh, this one actually starts off with CJ. I said so. Is it Solar Temple or ECK? As I'm pronouncing it.
You got to go with the Solar Temple, man. You had me at Knights Templar, but after
Not
quickly
Knights, not Knights Templar, the more chivalrous knights that weren't about killing for religion.
Well,
I mean, they both were kind of, but
maybe it does date back to the Knights Templar.
It says it claims to be based upon the ideals of the Knights Templar.
Oh, dude's actually fucking fact checking shit on our show.
Good. So, someone needs to. Someone fucking needs to.
Yeah, somebody needs to. This dude needs to be our genius.
You know, you gotta dig a good Knights Templar cult. You know, so
I mean, I'm an Assassin's Creed fan, so I agree.
Yeah, you know, plus after reading all of the stuff about the mass murderers and, you know, like even after the initial murders where they found all the bodies, the remaining ones that lived tried to do it again like 5 years later. And they
dedication.
So, like, you know, like they were true believers. Like even after they survived the first one, 5-6 years down the road, they tried to do it again, man. Like, you know, they didn't just give up and walk away from it, man. They kept on. So, you know, this sounds like this sounds like a real true call.
Well, all right. Deborah, which way you want to go? ECK, which doesn't even really sound like a cult, or Solar Temple?
I was gonna say, like, ECK, I mean,
she's like, I'm in a class like that.
Yeah, really, like, honestly, just anyway. So yeah, I gotta give it to the Solar Templars because and so many different ways to mass suicide and murder and whatever. It's pretty gruesome. And if he's right and people were,
Okay.
failed the first time and they were in it for the second time, that is dedication. So
You gotta love dedication, even if they're in Deborah's cult of learning astral projection and whatnot. So I personally am gonna go for Solar Temple as well, because ECK doesn't even sound like a cult, and I probably wouldn't have put them on here if I actually read it ahead of time. So, but I mean,
Sounds
if
like
they
a
said,
bad wrestling faction.
but Casey, which way you want to go?
Yep.
Yep, which means Order of the Solar Temple will move on to the second round. But which way do you want to go there, Laura?
Solar Temple or wannabe Knights Templar, whatever they're called.
And Scott?
Knights Templar. Didn't they try to save the Library of Alexandria from getting burnt down from the fucking Catholic scumbags?
They tried, but the assassins took them out. But which way you want to go, Chancy Pants?
Chancy Payne?
The Order of the Solar, wanna be Wish Templars.
Fancy Pants
Which-
looks like he wants to go to bed.
He's just living his best life. Talking about cold tie of shit.
Word.
That's Chancy's life right there. But that's gonna bring us to our next matchup here. And it's gonna get started off by Deborah. And it's the Children of God, also known as the Family, because there's multiple ones known as the Family. They became well known in the mid 1980s.
They're
What?
underneath. I can find it. It's underneath.
Talking to me or no? Okay, I guess not. But
You
the Children of God became well known in the mid 1980s for a few famous actors who were raised underneath its belief system, including Joaquin Phoenix and Rose McGowan. It's had a number of different names over the years. It was founded as an offshoot of evangelical Christianity. Its belief system turned both apocalyptic and paranoid relatively quickly. There were accusations of child and sexual abuse that were rampant within the culture. Now the Family still exists as a so-called religious group looking to help others, though it may still use the same practices of preying on weak-minded people in order to sustain itself.
hold up
And-
before we vote on that one. Can we hold this one off until we see the Joker 2?
No,
Ah,
but it's going against another famous cult, Unification Church Worldwide. And there's a gray area in this one between fervent religion and genuine cult. Usually the existence of one charismatic leader and some questionable practices that keep people from ever leaving a community are telltale signs that belief system is edging closer to cult status. And it's true in the case of the Unification Church Worldwide, also known as the Moonies, as they're sometimes called. You've heard of the Moonies, I'm sure. They follow one acting leader, a position currently held by Reverend Dr. Haq Jahan. The founder, Reverend Dr. Sun Myung Moon, called himself a Messiah, claiming he was the second coming of Christ. He co-wrote his own texts heavily based on Christianity that are now worshipped with the same reverence as many worship the Bible. With millions of devoted followers, it is a powerful belief system to be reckoned with, and he has many of the trappings of a cult, though hopefully will continue to preach more peaceful teachings as it has in the past. Perhaps the most bizarre of this group is its unique blessing or mass wedding ceremony, which I saw a picture of the mass wedding ceremony, and if you haven't seen it, look it up, because oh my God, it's literally like hundreds of people.
well, hold up.
waiting.
What's it called? I'll look it up, dude. Because this sounds like the new Mormons.
Look up Unification Church Worldwide.
I've got hope for these people.
But and Scott, you do know them because they were on Seinfeld. They're the ones you see in the airports.
Oh shit! If they're on Seinfeld, dude, 100%. Unification. What now?
Unification Church Worldwide. They're the ones you see. They're the ones on Seinfeld that George's boss at the Yankees joined.
God damn, man. My wife doesn't really like Seinfeld, so I haven't seen it since the 1000 or the
You're-
aughts. The
Like
odds.
She doesn't like Seinfeld?
No, her mom never watched it.
Oh my
What?
god. She
What?
Brent
That
so
was
hot.
like my family shit, but my
That's why-
parents were baby boomers. So
Yeah, same with me.
I mean, kick your wife out of the room and watch it for fuck's sake.
well, I don't watch a lot of TV. Okay, I'm looking for images. Do I have to type in? Oh, no, I don't have to type in wedding. Okay, let me get this.
Okay.
Well,
I'm
we'll
gonna
just
put their dogs in the cage while you look that up.
roll into that, share screen. This looks like The Bachelor or some shit. I don't. Oh, Jesus, you guys are the fucking mess. Internet. There we go. So what did these people do? They all just like got married at the same time or what?
Yes, they all get married at the same time, but they basically are on the line between a religious cult and a sect.
But
I mean,
they're,
a religious sect and a
but
cult.
there's men and women, like it's like they had a group wedding.
It's what it is. They do
with this
mass.
shit.
They do mass weddings of their followers. So I mean, they're the people you see in the robes outside of airports playing like the, what do you call it? The
But like, is the fucking leader trying to fuck everyone?
no, not by any reports at least. But I mean,
How is this a cult, dude?
they said it's on the line, but it's such a big thing now that they call it a cult because it's basically another religion, which all religions are cults in a way.
I
So
think it seems sweet.
but which way you want to go, Deborah?
I'm going Moody's all the way because I remember as a kid, like people talking about that. And remember, I don't know if you guys, they're on toothpaste, there's like products and stuff that had little moons, and there was always speculation that they own these products and companies and did terrible things. So yeah, just from my own personal childhood scary stories.
All right. I personally am going to go with the Children of God because I find that cult way more terrifying. So, child of cult. I mean, Children of God. But Casey, how about you?
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Either way, it's all a bunch of wackadoos.
Oh, 100%. Laura, how about you?
Yeah, I'll have to go with the marriage cult. That's hella weird.
And if you, Laura, just saying, my wife's been telling me to get a pedicure for a long time for certain reasons. So if you ever come to Massachusetts, let me know. But
Got it. You got it.
Scott, which way you want to go?
I was gonna say Laura, fucking Cherry dyed my head blue, but that was Heather. Never mind.
It's not my Christian government name, sir. I had to start using it.
Okay,
Get paid really good.
I thought I think the little Christian people that are getting married in groups are like little cuter booters. But are they the Moonies?
Yeah, they're the Moonies.
Oh yeah, then fuck yeah, let's go with the little married couple. That's
You
just
love
dope.
it. Oh my god.
And Chansey, sleeping Chansey over there, Wake the Dragon.
Chansey!
I would say the Moonies for sure.
Which means the Moonies, as they're now going to be called in this bracket, are going forward to the next round to face the Solar Temple. But which way would you have gone there, CJ?
I'm like Deborah. Like I remember them from my childhood, and it was a really big deal. And they were, they were one step from really being psychopaths. Like I think the fact that dude was making hundreds of $1 million every year off his followers is the only thing that kept him from doing really bad shit. Like he was riding the gravy train, bro. But they were
CIA
there
is
was a lot
fucking with
about
your
them.
head, dude.
So
They're implanting.
gotta go with the
this shit.
Moonies.
Oh,
you know.
never mind.
Which the Moonies are moving on to face the Order of the Solar Temple, as already said, 5-2. And the next one is going to get started off by me. And these are two ones I never heard of before, but they're interesting, as all these are to some degree. The first one is the Church of Euthanasia. It's an
That sounds
absurd.
good.
The Assurance group is part cult, part radical movement, and all around dangerous. It holds that the Earth can't sustain the human population. The best thing you could do for the world is to commit suicide. Its active website and online community often clash with pro-life protesters, and they aren't afraid of creating controversy. Save the planet, kill yourself is just one of the group's slogans. Sounds like a metal band.
Okay, we're looking this up. The Church of Euthanasia.
Yep. While there's some argument to be made that those involved are doing so for this.
That's
while they're-
Megadeth plays in the background.
Yes, exactly. While there's some argument to be made that those involved are doing so for the sake of absurdist art to make a point, a woman used instructions from their website to kill herself in 2003. And they're going against
Fuck yeah.
the School of Prophets. And what makes Ron Lafferty and his School of Prophets so notorious is really the gruesomeness of his crime and the fervor in which he believed his own righteousness. He was a self-professed prophet who violently lashed out at anyone who didn't believe him. He and his brother Dan were excommunicated from the Mormon Church. There we go again. Those two and their other brothers began the School of Prophets, where they would secretly preach radicalism from pulpits and community centers and homes. They most famously embraced the idea of polygamy, like every Mormon, even though they were already married. One of the brothers'
website
wives
looks dank. Or not dank. It looks
All right, I gotta see
fucking
this.
bad as fuck. Come on.
Yeah, that looks horrible. Like
A couple of
Suicide,
users,
abortion,
fuck
cannibalism,
these
and
people.
sodomy.
Fuck these people. You can't
The
even
four
scroll
pillars.
down.
Oh my god.
I am
Look-
scrolling down.
that bottom line right there. Did sperm wind up somewhere it shouldn't? Call
Look at this-
1-800.
I was
Look
gonna
at
say.
this top. This top.
I was gonna say it
menu
gives a whole new
bar.
meaning to eat ass, doesn't it?
This is like 2001 right here, right? Like, fuck these
And-
people. Fuck them.
And they literally have the human population counting up by the second. But
Wow.
they're going, the School of Prophets embraced the idea of polygamy, even though they were already married.
Do
one
they
of the
have a
brothers-
website?
No, I don't know, maybe, I don't fucking know. But actually, no, they don't. But one of the brothers' wives, Brenda, talked to the other wives about how they had options, along with so actively rejecting Ron's status as a so-called prophet. Unfortunately, his fervor and fury combined with her rejection came to a head. He and his brother Dan killed Brenda and her 15-month-old daughter Erica, with Ron claiming that God told him to do it. They were tried for murder, and Ron, along with his radical cult, died in prison in 2019. So you got another Mormon cult against a group that tells everybody to commit suicide because the Earth's too overpopulated. Which I agree with the Earth is overpopulated theory, but that's not the way to solve it. Not by any fucking means.
Not with a shitty website, it's not.
And if you're considering that as an option, please reach out and seek help. We beg you. But just throw that in there to make
Good
us
idea.
recommend it. To seek help, I hope you're saying. But
Of course.
okay, thank you. But
All our
just had this one goes to Deborah first. Is it the Church of Euthanasia, which now their name makes more sense, or the School of Prophets?
It's got to be the School of Prophets. That Church of Euthanasia. That website looks literally ridiculous.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you. That
ridiculous.
website is jank,
Well,
dude.
I'm not going by the website here, but if I'm talking cults, I'm going by which is the most dangerous group of motherfuckers that exist. And the Church of Euthanasia seems way more dangerous to me than some Mormon brothers who killed their wives because they were trying to talk out. So
Did you see the website?
who
Did
cares?
you
Dude,
see the website?
it doesn't matter if the website's good or not. They're still trying to do horrible things in the earth. Fuck their website. Like they're still trying to do horrible things in this earth. And like, I am not
Well,
for
weren't the other
people.
ones too?
No, they were just Mormons who went radical, like a lot of Mormons, apparently. So the Church of Euthanasia is doing horrible things in the earth, and they're still trying to get people to commit suicide to this day, I believe. So yeah, that's to me, that speaks pure evil. That's pure evil. So
Well, yeah, the Church of Euthanasia, they're trying to get people to kill themselves.
which is horrible.
Dude, I went to the carnival with a Mormon. Like,
Get
a better website, dude. Your family's got money. Come on now.
All right, well, they can work on that in their free time if they want. I really don't care if they do or not. But Casey, which way you want to go?
Well, I mean, Scott's got a point with the shit ass fucking website,
Thank you.
but
But do you-
Jeremy's also got a point though too. I mean, the world's overpopulated, kill yourself.
Well, no, we went to the website of euthanasia, dude. Those
Yeah, we
were the
did. We
people
did, but
that
they
wanted
also
to kill
are.
themselves.
But do you really want their website to be good with what they're trying to do? Do you really want their website to be good?
Maybe. Might be good for whoever falls for it.
Mm.
There's a lot of people
Well,
in this
I
world
mean,
that
if-
they're at the bomb's edge there, Scott, and they don't need help pushing themselves over.
Oh, I've been
So-
at the bottom's edge, dude. Life is funny.
Um,
Let's get over the joke.
we'll go with the freaking crazy fucking Mormons this time around.
Fuck yeah. Crazy Mormons. I like
And
that
Laura?
shit.
Crazy Mormons or
Euthanasia.
suicide convincers?
All the way, Jeremy, I agree with you. Euthanasia. Don't mind this. I'm sorry. Euthanasia.
Fuck off, Jerry.
Hey,
Uh,
and his family that was Mormon, they were the nicest family I had ever met.
They are the nicest people in
Fuck.
the world. Do you
I-
want them to kill themselves?
Well, no, no, in
Like there's a
Kansas,
lot of
really,
other
really
people
popular.
I'd want to kill themselves before all the crazy Mormons.
That's really punk rock, though. Save the planet, kill yourself. Oh, nah, fuck that. I'm with them. Go right ahead. They win.
Scott, which way you want to go? You know, I'm pretty sure I know which way you're going to go.
Yeah, I'm not like they had a shitty website, dude. I'm going with the other one.
And Chancey, which way you going to go if you're not asleep?
He's moving it.
Awesome.
Let's see. The euthanasia one.
Which ties it. I'm happy you did that because it ties it up for CJ to make the ultimate choice here. Is it the crazy
Nice.
Mormons or the
Right,
the suicide or the suicide convincers?
Nice.
You know, I'm all for the right for you to unalive yourself.
But
But
yeah.
the school of the prophets, those two idiots, for many years, it's never actually been proven, but there are many beliefs within the community that they were actually associated with the LeBarons. They were in the same area. They had a lot of the same crazy tendencies. They could never really prove that they interacted, but there's a lot of belief that the school of the prophets, those two were actually, you know, kind of associated with the LeBarons. So gotta go with that, man, because you know, again, just a different kind of fucking crazy, man. Like, you know.
I mean, that means school of prophets does win 4-3.
Yeah, like
But
you
I'm
can kill yourself no matter what the laws are. Like,
Yeah, like it's I mean that
fuck off.
I mean the euthanasia thing, like it doesn't I don't know, like I have a hard time justifying that as a cult per se, because I mean, is it really any different than what Kevorkian was doing?
No,
You know,
it's not.
and-
But I mean, it's just
You know,
evil
and-
meets it's evil. It's evil to all ends. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
not
It would
to
be
mention there's
cool to
like
make a bunch of people kill themselves. Like,
and there's
that's not
8
cool
countries
in the
now.
cool sense,
I mean,
but, like,
if
would
you look
be
at it,
funny.
if you look at it a certain way, a lot of cults have done the suicide method to end everything because they think it's a righteous way to get to a UFO or to get to
Yeah.
heaven or wherever you want to put it as. But
Yeah,
I mean,
we're
there's
jumping
8
hell
countries
bombs,
now
dude.
where euthanasia is actually legal. So
I mean,
Canada.
yeah,
Can we
Deborah.
raise our hand? Canada.
But
Netherlands, South Africa. So
But I
that's
mean-
really not even extreme
I
by
mean,
today's standard. Like
are we going to go the way of Futurama with killing booths? I don't know, but we'll find out in about we'll find out in about 1,000 years. But until then, let's move on to the next subject here and get off this dark subject.
Oh shit! I think this got like super dark, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
I
it
missed
did, Scott.
something.
But alcohol will do that, buddy. But I'm drinking too, so I can't say shit. But I mean, that's still a dark subject even when I'm drinking.
Deborah,
But the
you
next-
got a frown on your face. You need to turn that upside down. Start drinking more.
Oh,
Where's that
Scott,
tequila?
Okay.
Scott, don't tell women to smile ever. That's not a good thing. But
Why? Like she's thousands of miles away from me.
but the next cult is called Love Has Won, which sounds like it was started by Paul McCartney, but
That sounds freaky as fuck.
it's a modern day cult that has piqued America's curiosity thanks to the strange nature of their leader, Amy Carlson, who calls herself Mother God, claims again that she was a reincarnation of Jesus. After committing to this cult lifestyle, she left her third husband, her job, and her children behind completely, cutting off all contact. She emerged as the leader of Love Is One and began aggressively preaching a mix of New Age philosophy and conspiracy theories. They used Facebook and YouTube to get their message out and recruit new followers. A small handful of devoted followers continued to do whatever Carlson said, while others became disenfranchised and left the group. Those who left said they were subject to sleep deprivation, verbal and physical abuse, and that Carlson drank heavily, though she insisted her followers remained sober. She consistently denied any wrongdoing, and eventually her health began to fail. By September 2020, she became paralyzed from the waist down, emaciated, and her skin had a purplish hue, likely from a colloidal silver supplements the group claimed as a cure for COVID-19. Eventually, sometime in April 2021, she was confirmed dead thanks to the discovery of her mummified body. The group still exists, though it has splintered off into smaller groups. There are numerous documentaries and docuseries in the works that delve deeper behind the scenes of this cult. But they're going against a famous cult, and I mean famous.
Hold up. What was the name of that cult? Because that's the one I want to join.
Love Has Won.
Love Has Won. Okay.
And they're going against, though, Heaven's Gate, which is famous due to the strange nature of its members and their unnervingly calm documented interviews before their mass suicide. While the membership and the beliefs changed over the years, the final iteration of the cult had members who believed that they would graduate or ascend from their bodies onto the comet Hale-Bopp. And in order to do so, all 39 of them ingested poison over 3 days together at a large home where they all lived together in Rancho Santa Fe, California. At the time of their death, they all wore the same black clothes, patches, new Nike shoes, and sported shaved heads, no matter what their gender. Videos they had prepared and meticulously sent out to various groups beforehand found that after the fact showed that they had adopted new names for themselves, and they were uneasily casual about their pending exit from Earth. But this is also the group I believe was in Dude, Where's My Car?
Dude, don't leave out that like most of the men self-castrated themselves.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Put that back in there.
I believe they were in the movie Dude, Where's My Car, where you can see more detail on them. But if I'm not mistaken, the famous Ashton Kutcher, Sean William Scott movie from 2001. But which way do you want to go on this, Casey? You're starting us off.
Yeah. Heaven's Gate is like the pinnacle of crazy. Heaven's Gate.
Oh, actually, well, I was supposed to start that one, but whatever. Yeah, I'm going for Heaven's Gate as well because Love Is One just seems like a social media craze that idiots join because they need something. And the fact that they think that one pill could beat COVID when the government didn't say it could, it's just insane.
Oh, that comes from somebody who got the jizzab.
Dude, yeah, I got my first two.
Cut your balls off, my friend.
No, I did not. Hopefully,
Wait,
I'm trying to have a kid.
The,
I'm trying to have a kid, motherfucker. Don't say that shit. That's bad luck. But
knock on wood.
Yeah, Moose, I'm trying to have a kid. I get it.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Don't cut your balls off, Jeremy.
I'm not cutting my balls off. My wife, my wife threatens to all the time. I don't need to cut my own balls off. Thank you. But Laura, which way you want to go?
Nexium, Cole, forgive me, the sneaker ones. I remember seeing those pictures. They were horrific.
Heaven's Gate it is, and Heaven's Gate's leading 3-0. But that brings it down to Scott.
Every child is a blessing, Jeremy. Don't you worry about it. I'm on your side. Good luck.
You don't need to mute your shit, dude. We can't hear you.
Me?
Yeah, he's talking. He's calling you, dude. Yeah.
I was like, motherfucker. I remember you seeing a block of cheese. Okay, a
block of cheese every. We would steal fucking
stomach
beer
problem
from Vons, and I would grab a block of cheese because it was right by the fucking
And eat it like a cheeseburger, sir.
Did we ever have a cheeseburger?
No. Okay, you got me there.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. I'm going with the not cut my testicles off.
Oh, Love Has Won?
Cold. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are you going with Love Has Won, which was the COVID cult, or are you going with Heaven's Gate?
Yeah, like fuck COVID. Or fuck the Jesus. That's where I'm going.
All right. Chancey, how about you? Love Has Won or Heaven's Gate?
Heaven's Gate.
Which means Heaven's Gate does move on to the next round to face the School of Prophets.
Bunch of jabders.
But which way you want to go, CJ?
Neither one of these ones really sound all that.
Yeah, I
Out
mean,
there to me.
as Casey said, wackadoos all around. But
yeah, like we'll go with Heaven's Gate just because that one was kind of really famous. But I mean, after reading about the Solar Temple, it almost comes off as like Heaven's Gate was kind of like a poor man's Solar Temple. Like, you know, they like copied them in so many ways with the suicide and the, you know, the way the bodies were laid out and all that other junk. So
yeah, but you guys are voting on men who are voluntarily cutting off their testicle. Remember that.
I mean,
remember that.
What other men want to do is their freedom, not mine. But
yeah, and you're going along with it. Let's just cut
I'm
testicles
not.
off.
I just
or not get the jab. Not get the jab or cut it.
As long as you're not cutting my balls off, I don't give a shit what you do. Like, you know, like.
No, I care. That's horrific. But aren't we voting on cults? Like, that's some cult ass shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jeremy did say, like, we get to vote on it anyway. And, like,
yeah, I did.
I did say that. The jab. I'm not cutting my testicles off.
But,
or wearing Nikes. Those poor little Chinese children stuck in that factory with nets around it.
But, Deborah, which way you want to go?
For.
I want to go with the second one. What was the name of them? Sorry.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gates, yeah, those ones, because that's the only one I've heard of, and the other ones that sounded scary.
The other one is
woman response.
Well, the other one was just a cranky lady that wanted to leave her husband. This is all it sounded like.
I mean, her third husband. So she fucked up apparently before, but I mean, yeah,
she sounds like a biatch, and nobody wanted to live with her, so she started a cult and tried to bully people, and it didn't work out.
I mean, Heaven's Gate I'm going with just because the only reason I went with them is because of the movie. I love that movie, and they actually partied with Sean William Scott and Ashton Kutcher, so fuck yeah.
Yeah, good.
But go ahead, Scott, because you're up second on this one, so hurry up. But Laura gets to start this one out, and this is the matchup that's got the most famous cult in it. The Manson family. And I don't even think I need to go into it because everybody knows what Charles Manson did. So I'm not going to go into that one because everybody knows what Charles Manson freaking did. But it's going against realism. It doesn't have the cult realism doesn't have any bloodshed to its name, but the followers of it believe that aliens have seeded life on this planet. So basically starseeds. And every prophet that has ever existed was one of the aliens mistaken for a god. They run international organizations, education, and festivals. Their messages are typically peaceful. They check off all the marks of a cult, though. And if the list has taught us anything, it's that it doesn't really matter if a cult begins peacefully. That when there are a lot of people that believe something feverishly with a charismatic leader whose words they hold dear, it could lead to dangerous enough and tragic endings. So you got the Manson family basically versus someone who's kind of a cult. Not really. They are starseeds, it seems like. Which, for those who don't know, starseeds are those who believe they have the soul of an extraterrestrial inside them instead of a human soul.
So basically, the Manson family versus a group of people who have watched They Live too many times.
Possibly.
Are they still around?
And it's your turn, Laura.
Are they still around? I would like to know.
I see nothing seeing they ended, so they could be. I mean, starseeds came from somewhere, so they could be all realism believers. But
sound pretty weak sauce compared to the Manson family, to be honest. But if they're still around and making trouble, I mean, I'm gonna go for the most relevant because they're still around being fucking culty. They didn't get locked up and get a bunch of documentaries on them. So I'll have to go with the Mansons.
All right. And Scott, it's the Manson family. You listening, Scott?
Yeah, I'm listening.
It's the Manson family versus realism, which is basically starseeds or people that
Fuck the
believe they.
CIA and fuck the Mansons. Sorry you work for the government, Cherry.
Oh, fuck the government.
So Scott, does that mean you're going for Manson or realism?
No, I ain't going for Manson shit. That motherfucker was a government pawn.
All right. Chancey, Manson or realism?
I'm gonna have to go with realism.
Thank you. Yeah,
Starseed's getting another vote.
read
But,
the story, dude.
CJ,
Fucking
which way you want to
party at
go?
Laurel Canyon.
I'm not really a fan of Manson, and I kind of dig the whole "they live" angle. So like we'll go with them.
All right. Well, right now, realism is winning 3-1. Yeah. So, Deborah, which way you want to go? Manson family or realism?
Well, it's hard.
Fuck the CIA. Even though you're Canadian, fuck the CIA, because they're in your government too.
You know what? I'm gonna throw the Manson family one just because,
Oh,
like, I mean, they made
Yes.
impact. All the movies, all the,
oh,
God, who
Well,
hasn't heard of them? They've made
I mean-
pull to the heart.
I
One
mean-
for the CIA.
I love the show Age of Aquarius with David Duchovny, and because and I've always had fascination with Charles Manson since I was a teenager, just because I almost respected him for the murders because he just got tons of girls to sleep with him, and in high school I just respected that. So garbage.
Do you
I listened
remember
to-
Danny? Do you remember
Danny who?
Danny when he would act like he took Vicodin? He was on probation and he couldn't get fucked up with all of us, and he, acted like he was fucked up. Good for him, whatever. But that's Charles Manson. He was never getting fucked up, dude. He was leading these people on.
Oh, I highly doubt he never got fucked up, dude. Come on, it's Charles
He
Manson.
never got fucked up, dude. Read the
Chancey,
book Chaos.
I
and
need your
then
opinion,
read
Chancey.
the book Party at Laurel Canyon. I'm looking it up. I'm on my Audible, dude. Like
Chancey, did Charles Manson
What?
partake in drugs or no?
No, if you did, you took lighter doses.
It isn't
Thank
that what a
you,
cult leader
Chancey.
does, but that's what
I'm
a cult leader
looking up the
does.
book.
Is like trick everyone else.
Yeah.
And,
He was
Well, I mean,
trained by the
That's
CIA.
a genius. That's a
motherfucker.
genius. You take less drugs than everybody else,
No,
so you
he
can be in
was
control.
trained and set up by the CIA. He
Oh,
was
dude.
already institutionalized.
Dude,
That
whether
motherfucker had conjugal visits. He was set up in prison. He was
Dude.
in prison from the youngest age
Scott.
possible.
Scott,
Like this dude set up.
whether he was or not, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I listen to so many rappers that use the term "garbage people" as like a freaking
Rappers are
title.
not Charles Manson.
But they
Rappers
all
are not-
hardcore rappers worship Charles Manson. So I mean, Charles Manson, I respect you. I'm giving the Manson family another one, which means it comes down to Casey as a tiebreaker between the Manson family and realism.
Better
This is
vote
almost
right, or
Power.
I'm gonna kick you.
this
Yeah,
is almost
shut up,
perfect
Scott.
because I made a promise to my co-host on an evening at the movies that I would, when this cult came up, I would allow the sharing of a particular story. On a previous episode of a mutual podcast that my co-host was on at the time, they were discussing singers, and the subject of Marilyn Manson came up.
Not
And
Marilyn
the host,
Manson. Charles Manson.
the host of the show was maybe a little bit at the time, and he thought he misheard, so was basically asking Kendra and Amanda to later explain this all because from what he knew, Charles Manson was a good dude. He thought he was talking about Marilyn Manson, so he got it all mixed up. So we always have to pitch him crap now because it's always, well, Charles Manson's a good dude. Charles Manson's a good dude. And he gets incredibly embarrassed over the fact that he totally screwed that up live on air. So for that reason alone, I will be voting for the Manson family.
Which means Manson family wins, and I'm guessing you're talking about a certain name that starts with a D, but I won't spill it here.
I was
Hold,
not.
hold up.
I-
Hold up.
I was not throwing him under the bus, but I will neither confirm nor deny that the person's name starts with a D and ends with Eandre.
Yeah, Dre, Marilyn Manson got his name from Marilyn Monroe and Charles Manson put together. So yeah, he did respect Charles Manson to a degree.
So,
but-
see,
Sherry and I are the only people who have actually partied in a Manson house out of this group. You remember 90th and H?
Yeah, I partied there.
Fuck yeah.
Again,
You
it's
tried to play a show there.
yeah, several times. Several
Yeah.
times. That shit was real. That's okay. But
CIA bullshit. CIA bullshit.
no,
Well, I
seriously.
don't-
No, hey, I hate to put this in there, but no, seriously, Manson has some serious CIA ties. The CIA in the 60s is not something to be fucked with. It was very different from anything we've seen today, from Lee Harvey Oswald to killing of, the assassination of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, all the way to the president. Yes, of course. And we all know that Manson was tied in with these people and through the CIA and trained through them. So I hate to go off on a tangent, but I don't know. Got something there.
Thank
Well-
you, Cherry, and thank you for voting for that shit. Like you were
Well-
the tiebreaker. What the?
I thought I was
No.
voting for the most evil one. I'm trying to go for the evil.
The
Well,
CIA?
I
is
mean,
the
the CIA,
win?
the CIA was evil back then, but they still are.
They're evil
far-
now.
far as we
Like,
know. I mean, they
fuck
are,
off.
they are. But I mean, I'm happy Manson family won because I love Charles Manson to some degree. So I will live with that victory forever over you, Scott. Just saying.
I'm still looking for that book. I'm going through my
But
article right
The
now.
the next matchup has the second most famous cult ever, the Branch Davidians or the Koreshians. And they are one of the most violent examples of cults and governments clashing in 1993, which happened in 1993 in Waco, Texas, with this cult.
Mm-hmm.
It was technically a group that was founded through Branch Davidian beliefs, which have their own questionable elements. But this group was very much brainwashed to the charismatic leadership, David Koresh, and he formed his own sect of the Branch Davidians in the late 1980s after a power struggle with the other leader in the group. He even changed his name to David Koresh to reflect his new status as a leader. Thanks to a number of accusations of child abuse, sexual abuse, and illegal weapons violations, the ATF came to his commune in February 28, 1993, with a search warrant. We all know how it ends after 51 days when the final death toll was A6 with multiple other casualties. But they're going against the People's Temple, also simply known as Jonestown. And they are one of the most notorious and famous cults thanks to a horrifying mass murder-suicide that occurred in November 1978, along with the murder of Congressman Leo Ryan. Everybody knows these two. I don't need to go into more detail because they are two famous freaking cults. So you have David Koresh versus Jonestown. And this one gets started off by Scott. And just so everybody knows, there's no rankings to these at all. I mean, no one's going to make a list of the top ranked cults. So these are all randomly generated matchups. I had no say in who got against who. But
Okay,
Scott, take your
give
pick.
me the names again.
David Koresh versus Jonestown.
Desert Cat.
David Koresh, yeah.
Desert Cat. No, I'll go with Jonestown. Jesus Christ.
People's Temple gets one vote. And Chancey, which way are you going to go? Jonestown or Koresh? Because I know these are two of your favorite topics.
Fresh.
Okay.
For sure,
mean-
Crash.
Insane Clown Posse did once say, I'm fresh like David Koresh. So, I mean, for all that's worth. But CJ, which way you want to go?
You know, Mm, This one
Weird
here.
scenes inside Laurel Canyon. Read that fucking book, and you're gonna want to just kill them Manson family motherfuckers.
Man, for this one, I'm a firm believer that Janet Reno should have been charged with a case of murder for every one of the Waco people, because that was gross misconduct and gross mishandling
Gruesome.
on the government's part, not waiting for Koresh to just come out on one of his almost weekly trips, and they could have just arrested him peacefully on the road somewhere, as opposed to invading a compound that they knew was heavily armed and that they were going to fight back. And when they lied about it by saying it was ATF agents when it was actually Navy SEALs that they were using, because I can assure you from a best friend who's a Navy SEAL trainer in San Diego that the scene of the ATF agent on the roof throwing the grenade into the window, that was a SEAL. I can tell you from his uniforms and the gun he was repping and so many other things. Go with Jonestown, man, because Jonestown was
Horrible scene.
one of the first true cases of the cults, and inspired one of my favorite songs by Manowar. So, call to the damned all the way.
we have the right to hold militias in this country. Sorry, Deborah.
Yeah,
but we actually hold the right. That was a fuck up.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that Koresh was innocent, but I am a pretty firm believer that I don't think the Branch Davidians would have been anywhere near as violent or violent at all.
But it was
government response isn't what it is.
Well, I'll get to it in my turn. But Deborah, which way you want to go?
Oh, Jonestown all the way. If we're talking about cults, that is a true with the big sunglasses and running the place like he's like the main man, and convincing all those people to drink the Kool-Aid, and while he's standing by not doing it himself. I mean, that's pretty brutal. Everybody knows about that.
All right. I personally, it's my pick, and I got to go for Koresh, because even if all that didn't happen, like CJ said, they still were sexually abusing children in that place, and that to me is the most pure evil you can do. And there's no accounts I know of that happening at Jonestown. It was just a drink the Kool-Aid type of cult.
They were a peace-loving cult, dude.
Jim Jones was having sex with the young girls as well, and he had multiple wives and mistresses and whatnot.
All right, well, it's a battle of two evils, but I mean,
yeah,
the Branch Davidians finished on American soil, unlike the People's Temple or Jonestown incident. So they will finish off on an island.
Jonestown finished in American soil.
No, Jonestown was on an island.
Jonestown was actually in Uruguay or Papua New Guinea. I'm sorry, was in Papua New Guinea in South America. So, it was very much.
Christ, I got like some Mandela effect. I thought they were in Texas, dude.
No, they were in Papua New Guinea.
No.
Thinking of a different one.
There was it a governor or somebody? It was the governor that traveled there, and they shot everybody and killed everybody.
He was a senator. He was a
congressman.
Fucking horrible, man.
Yeah.
But I'm going with the Branch Davidians because David Koresh was one fucked up motherfucker, and that's what we're voting on here. So I got to go with David Koresh. But that brings it down to Casey.
Either way you look at it, both people are severely fucked up individuals. I'm going to go with Koresh only for the pure fact that how much of a clusterfuck that whole 51 days turned into, and it didn't have to be. Yeah. So it's not just the Koresh, it's everything that ATF, our government, and everything that screwed that up too, that turned it into such a huge tragic event.
Yeah, which makes it a tiebreaker for Laura. Is it David Koresh or Jim Jones?
You're talking about dead kids or dead kids. I can no sooner pick my favorite star from the skies. Let me tell you. I'm gonna oh god, that they're both such fucking horrible stories. It's so fucking tragic.
Well, if it makes it better, whoever wins this is gonna face the Manson family around too.
Oh, then let's go for Jonestown. George Jones over there.
Jim Jones, yeah.
Here we go.
Or,
Jim
or,
Jones.
or better known as the People's Temple. But
Not
that
that
brings
George
us to,
Jones was any less of a psycho. Like he was a pretty fucked up individual too. Like,
but that brings us to our last full match of round one before our last play-in. Thank God.
What? Yeah, it's been a while, huh, dude.
I know it has been, but this last matchup is full matchup is Los Narcos Santanicos, sometimes called the Matamoros Gang or the Narco Satanists. It's a dark Mexican cult
Sounds
that
pretty dope.
likely had significantly more people involved than the number show, because so many of them were both influential into some shitty business cartels. It can be difficult to get people to admit their involvement. During its heyday in the mid-1980s, the cult engaged in dark magic spells that involved gruesome ritual sacrifice of living creatures, both large and small. The sacrifices may have started with animals, but eventually transformed into killing humans. People begin to go missing. Their mutilated bodies turning up in Mexico City later. The cult's leader, Alfonso Constanzo, not to be confused with George Costanza, became influential with the drug cartels and wealthy businessmen in the area, insisting they partner up with him or their families would end up dead and mutilated. He and his followers eventually murdered an American student, Mark Kilroy, whose uncle was with the DEA. That was the beginning of the downfall, as political pressure investigations eventually called out many of the most powerful members of the cult, including Costanzo himself. Rather than be taken in, Costanzo told his followers to shoot him and his second-in-command, Martin Quintana. But they are going against Jim Roberts, the Brethren, which it's difficult to find information on them since they're incredibly secretive. What is known, though, is that they were formed under the leadership of Jim Roberts, who believed the followers should shun all material things, including shelter and family. Sounds like Scott's early lifestyle.
Hell yeah, let's do it, dude.
The followers who still exist today, even after his death in 2015, eat handouts and rummage through the garbage for sustenance, which Manson did that too. But they believe that the end of the world is upon us, so they have to break off familial ties and distribute all their finances amongst each other. They use specific biblical passages to support their extreme lifestyle. They have many other names, nicknames, including the Body of Christ, the Brothers and Sisters, or the Cult of the Garbage Eaters. So, what's it gonna be here? And this one's going to Laura finished that one out. So this one's going to Chancey first. How the
hell does it go from Laura to Chancey?
No, Laura finished that one out. So you started the last one out, Scott.
Oh, okay.
So Chancey, is it the Los Narcos Santanicos or Jim Roberts, the Brethren?
The Brethren.
And CJ?
You know what? I gotta go with the Brethren, man, because I just wrote that down. Like that's like the most that's got to be a metal song. Like I gotta write that song, "Cult of the Garbage Eaters," man. Like that just sounds like it would be like a fucking Exodus song or a Testament song or something like that. You know, like it's just.
It does. I mean,
like, fucking area speed metal written all over it, man.
One of my favorite rappers, Razakel, put out a song called "Garbage People" about Charles Manson's group. So
yeah,
I mean,
I think I've already got like so many songs for this record I'm working on, but I think it's going to be a last minute addition, man. Like I need more metal, and that's like hip hop type stuff. So I'm going to work that in some kind of way, like "Cult of the Garbage Eaters," man. Like, yeah,
well, Deborah, how about you? Which way are you going to go?
What's wrong with you guys? The narco Satanists bullied the cartel into working with them, or they do evil magic on them. I mean that's pretty badass, isn't it?
It is, and I'm gonna agree with you because I mean Mexicans are known for dark magic to begin with, and voodoo and all that good stuff. I mean, and they believe in a lot of creepy paranormal shit, which is what the show's about. Which is what the show's about initially. But so yeah, and I mean, you don't fuck with Mexican cults, Mexican gangs. You don't fuck with them unless you want to end up in pieces in Texas. So I'm gonna go with.
Oh my God, you are too north, motherfucker. We're talking Tex-Mex, Tex-Mex from actual Mexican food. Like, yeah,
Which-
no, we're not fucking with these Texas.
Well, brings me down, which brings it down to Casey because it's all tied up at the moment, but it's not the tie-breaking decision yet. Which way you want to go, Casey, if you're there at the moment?
Let's go with the Mexican cartel.
Which they basically were. Which way you want to go, Laura?
So usually you don't fuck with the cartel. Like the cartel hangs people on the freeway. There's cartel runs the government in Mexico. But you're saying a cult came in and forced the cartel out to work with them. So I have to.
Bullshit. Right. Bullshit.
That's fucking crazy.
You're going with the Narco Santanicos?
Absolutely. Absolutely 100%.
Which means the Narco Santanicos moves on to the second round. But which way you want to go? Would you have gone, Scott?
I would have went with number 2, dude. Like I
The
know
Brethren?
a lot of Southsiders and this.
Just because you lived that life at one point, Scott.
I didn't live that life. I know that. Like this Satanistic fucking that's
No.
bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
I've known Northanios and Southsiders, and they're
Well-
all hardcore devout Catholic. Dude.
Put it this way, Scott. Did you listen to the newest episode of my show that I posted in your guys in
I
our
did
group?
not.
You need to listen to it because I think you're gonna get like hard off it. It's your style. It's your style of world ending shit. But
Yeah, I don't buy into the whole like devil worshipping shit. Like, dude,
it's
I've
not
known
technically
fuck-
devil worshipping.
I've known a fuckload of Southsiders and Northanios, and like I can tell you firsthand, the cartel is not going into devil
Deborah,
worshipping bullshit.
Did you listen to that episode yet or no? Did
Did
you
I
watch that video? The video I posted in our chat a couple days ago of the interview I did.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, you guys need to listen to that because I want full reviews from you both next week about what you thought about it because it's one of the most insane interviews I ever did in my life, and I literally walked away from the podcast table like half shaken, half like this is bullshit. But I don't know what to believe. Like I need second opinions. So
Oh,
and
no,
I want
I'll listen to it. I'm going to work.
I want
Yeah.
yours, Deborah, because Scott doesn't believe in anything. So
Well,
Okay.
I'll be sober as a mober, sort of.
so this next matchup is
Hold
going
up,
to get
hold up. I want to know, Cherry, you were going to interrupt me with the
I was. You know why? Because, dude, you're tripping. You haven't been to LA in a minute, but you would be here. You know damn well in the midst of all of LA by the best weed clinic there is, there's a Santos shop, and everybody knows because I'm fucking Catholic, bro. Born and raised, hardcore Catholic, and I'm telling you, it's almost accepted as widely as exorcism that there's Santos shops. They're everywhere, dude, and they have
Dude.
all dark black magic side that Mexicans believe in of the Catholic cult. So it's like that's where you get all of the different herbs and different spices. And even as a teenager, I knew about this shit. I know that they're hardcore Catholic. I'm not disagreeing that.
but they were on the downstream. Like I moved to Florida and I know about this shit too.
What
Like,
if Florida's influenced by fucking
that's Haitian
New Orleans.
shit, dude. That's
Yeah.
Haitian shit. Like
Florida.
different.
Florida.
That's totally different.
Florida is hoodoo and voodoo.
but what
Like
I'm saying
that's different than Satan worshiping. Like hoodoo and
That's-
voodoo are different things
that's what I'm
completely.
saying is in LA, every gangster, every fucking vato I knew,
They have the
hardcore Catholic, dude.
Yeah, they love their
hardcore fucking Catholic.
but I'm saying that they still, even though they're hardcore Catholic, they still allow these shops to run and thrive for decades. They know
Yeah, but
the
how big are these shops, dude?
Tiny.
Like
they're tiny.
fucking
Like
Lankas ain't no fucking devil worshipping band. Like,
I'm saying, if you get a desperate Catholic enough who believes in this shit, that and you tell them that they can go to this shop and that they can get whatever they're looking for, there's gonna be some people that are gonna go because I've seen it. I've seen it.
Okay, dude, I was
Well,
a Mexican break dancer in
let's-
the 8th grade. Like, fuck.
I believe
Like, it doesn't matter if
Well,
the losers
Scott,
fall
let's keep
out
it.
into the
Scott,
shit.
it's been like 2.5 hours, dude. Let's keep this moving.
I
But
know.
Let's get it moving. Moving, Jeremy. Get it.
I'm trying. But the final play-in for round 1, 2.5 hours in, is the Faz Rahmanist movement. It was a cult named after its radical leader, Faz Rahman Sadarov, who said he was a prophet of Islam. Most mainstream Islam rejected his claim, but a small group of about 70 members did not. They followed him into a 3-story building that he then declared to be a separate state and self-sustaining community. His followers preached their own beliefs, which were Sadarov's own variations on Islam. In 2012, the Russian police discovered underground chambers beneath the home where 38 adults and 27 children lived. Many of the children have never been outside since members were forbidden from leaving the compound. With this horrifying discovery and the bad health of their leader, the cult was dissolved. And they're going against Synanon, which was originally founded as a drug rehabilitation program in Santa Monica. It became an unhealthy cult for its members that would eventually be involved in an attempted murder, IRS fraud. There you go.
Taylor.
And even terrorism. The founder, Charles Diedrich Sr., was a reformed alcoholic who believed that normal AA meetings were enough for people with addiction issues. Synanon was formed as both a community and eventually a lucrative business to create promotional items that allowed them to buy a large armory on the beach in Santa Monica. As their power and influence grew, so did their scare tactics. Anyone who published anything against Synanon began facing a slew of threats, beatings, or even an instance of a poisonous rattlesnake being put in a mailbox of a lawyer who brought a lawsuit against the group. In 1978, Diedrich and his associates were arrested and charged with multiple counts, including assault and attempted murder. Without strong leadership, the group struggled and eventually petered out, though a branch of Synanon still exists in Germany. Well, there you go. If the Nazis are still willing to believe it, then that's one thing. But so it's Synanon versus the Islam, the guy who thought he was a prophet of Islam. And this one's gonna get started by CJ. And whoever wins this one will face the final cult in round 1.
You know what?
Which looks like another Middle East cult, just saying.
Let's go with the Islams because it's been a while since I heard about a good Islam cult. So
Muhammad.
mostly you only hear about terrorists though. So you gotta respect a good Islam cult. So
Yeah.
And Deborah, which way do you want to go?
The Synanon, is that what they were called? The Synanon one, the second one.
Yeah, the Synanon one was the California one that would put rattlesnakes in lawyers' mailboxes.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going with that one.
and with my fear of snakes, I'm gonna go for the Synanon rather than someone who just literally kept people in a building for 30 years so they never saw daylight. I mean, as gangster as that belief is, like Synanon is more dangerous in my mind. So, Casey, what about you?
Yeah, if I go out to the mailbox to get my mail and I open it and there's a freaking poisonous snake in there, I will literally run 5 towns down the fucking road screaming like a little girl. So yeah, the snake cult people.
Synanon it is. And which way you want to go, Laura?
Synanon, for sure. If ISIS didn't claim them, they're not real.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Synanon.
Jihad.
well, they were disbanded way before ISIS, thank God. But
islands, I kill you.
but Scott, which way you want to go? Even though Synanon's moving on.
Malachi.
Malachi.
I am glad that you gave me that information that you are afraid of snakes. So I'm going to have to hit the AV back up and get some Mojave greens and take them when we do our first TV show. So whoever the snake people are, dude, most poisonous snake in the fucking North Americas. We're
Ain't got
going with
nothing to
those
match
people.
Ain't got nothing to match Australia, but okay.
Yeah, but I got something to match all of the Americas.
Scott, are you just giving me reasons not to meet you in person? Just saying.
Oh,
I'm also
there'll be
scared
some
of snakes.
reasons, but there will be a cash dollar reason to meet me. So,
So, which one are you going with, Scott?
the fucking snake people.
So, Synanon gets, but last but not least, Chancey, which way would you have gone?
Fucking Synanon.
Synanon.
Which means
Synanon.
which means Synanon moves on to face the final cult in this bracket, and that is the Rajneeshis, which thanks to the Netflix document. Go to sleep, Moose. But thanks to the Netflix documentary. Shut up, Moose. But thanks to the Netflix documentary, Wild Wild Country, this cult has quickly become one of the more well-known cults in history. It's also an excellent example of how people with seemingly positive intentions can be manipulated by a charismatic leader into doing less than wholesome acts. Sometimes referred to as Osho, this cult has followers who believed in the precious teachings of their leader, Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. It practiced communal living and notoriously free sexual expression. After moving into a tiny town in Oregon, they began clashing with the local government, going so far as to even put salmonella in the local restaurants in order to poison local townspeople. From being mired down in illegal issues and controversies, Rajneesh eventually died, and most of the movement's momentum died with him. So it's that versus Synanon, and the first vote goes to Deborah.
Well, you know what? I've heard of those guys before. I read something about them. It was kind of interesting, but I'm still going with the snake guys, the Synanon. I freaking hate snakes.
I hate snakes too, Deborah, but a group that will actually try to poison the town they live in because they're going against them, I respect that. That's mafia gangster ass shit right there. So
Dude,
I'm going with the Rajneeshis.
one of the only people other than my wife watching this shit, we went out and caught snakes because we thought we could like take them to go get milked for buku bucks. Diana told us that, Cherry. And the only thing I got was like, I'll give you a beer if you drive to LA.
Who
Jeremy
dropped off?
gone?
Oh, no, I'm here. Did Laura drop off apparently?
Yes.
Maybe.
Scott, you may want to message her, but
Yeah.
or unless she drops back on in a second if her cell phone lost service or something. But
I'll send her the link. I think I have it copied again.
But yeah, I'm going with the Rajneeshis because that's gangster. That's mafia to me, and I'm Italian and I respect mafia shit. So, but which way do you want to go, Casey?
I'm going to go with the cult of the Raj Kuthrapali.
And actually, that's Oregon. That's kind of close to where you live, so you probably heard of that shit.
Literally like an hour and a half, depending upon how fast you drive away from my front door.
Well, there you go.
So,
Which way? Well,
Oregon and Raj Kuthrapali.
Laura would be next, but we'll skip her for now and hope she comes back.
I'll vote
Scott,
for her.
Well, no, you can wait till we get to the last option. Then she could, if she comes back, she could vote. But Scott, which way would you have gone personally?
What were the two? Just give me a brief description.
The snake people and the
Snake
Oregon salmonella
Snake
people. And Chancey? Fucking dogs.
The Rajneesh.
And CJ?
Am I on the right message?
I seen a documentary about the Rajneesh and it didn't really impress me all that much. We'll go with the snake people in this one.
All right, which means Laura is a tie-breaking decision, which I was hoping wouldn't happen.
She might be down for the count. Like, yeah.
All right, well,
We'll
if
see.
needed,
Do some rock, paper, scissors.
Snake.
No, well,
Come on, who's doing it? I'll
Rock,
be the
paper,
snake
scissors, lizard,
people.
I'll step
people,
out. All right.
Do we have a
Casey's got
listener?
you.
we have
Casey's
to
got you.
finish this out,
Let's
right?
prove it.
Casey's got you, Scott. Go.
Okay, okay. 1, 2. Oh, Jesus Christ, this is the lag. Okay, let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And
He
rock, crush,
beat
and scissor.
So he's
So the
whatever the
Raj,
non-snake people are.
the Rajneeshis win, and they will face the Narcos Santanicos in the next round. But that brings us to
Yeah,
round
there we
2,
go.
finally, an hour and 40 minutes in.
We
But
solved some problems though.
It should go faster here anyway, regardless. But the first
There's
matchup in round
no
2.
explanation now.
Yeah, there's no explanation now. Everybody knows what every cult in the second round is. So, to some degree, I may still have to look at notes to remind people. But the first matchup is the FLDS versus the 12 tribes.
FLDS wins. Let's just quit this.
And it gets started off by well, Laura would finish out now. So actually no, CJ started the last one. So it gets started off by Deborah.
Hmm.
And the FLDS is another case of crazy Mormons, and the 12 tribes is another case of crazy midsummer Christians.
I think it's going to
FLDS
be
is still
the crazy
around.
Mormons because they branch out. There's so many. They touch everywhere.
Well, no. Let's get away from this branch out. The FLDS is the fundamentalist Christians. This is back to Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. These are original Mormons before we start buying Coca-Cola and going along with federal laws. These are the original fucking Mormons.
And
Give these guys
as
some
South
fucking
Park
credit.
as South Park said when they did the episode on Mormons and Joseph Smith, dum dum. But
Okay, yeah, but they are the OGs. I live in a state that is controlled by these motherfuckers. Give them their
Well-
credit where credit is due.
that means that I get next, and I'm gonna go for the 12 tribes because a
Fuck
Tennessee Christian organization to me is more crazy than Mormons being crazy because Mormons are crazy all the time. No offense, CJ, but motherfucker, where'd my pen go? But that means it goes down to Casey next. There it is.
FLDS.
Which raise the
Thank you.
dogs. Raise the dogs come to eat my pen. I get it. But and now they're humping each other. Lovely. But Scott, which way you want to go?
FLDS all the way, dude. These people are nuts.
And Chansey?
Yeah,
Which means FLDS moves on. So which way would you have gone, CJ?
Probably FLDS.
Which means FLDS wins 5-1. I'm happy I didn't give them a sweep there. But let's see who they're going to face. It's either the Blackburn cult or the Russian or the true Russian Orthodox Church. And for those who don't remember, the Blackburn cult is one of the only cults, and this is started by a woman who did the dead dogs around this dead 16-year-old girl trying to resurrect her.
Oh shit, man.
And it's
You had to
and the
fuck it up for women.
and the true Russian Orthodox Church is basically just a bunch of Russians who didn't believe that the church was Orthodox enough and lived in a cave. So, but it's going to get started off by
And drank vodka.
yeah. Oh, I didn't say that, Scott. But I'm gonna go for the Blackburn
didn't
cult because they're.
Say
I'm
that.
going for the Blackburn cult because they were the. Oh, you didn't say that. My bad.
Oh,
Casey said that. Okay, but I'm going for the Blackburn cult because they were the craziest motherfuckers out of this matchup. But which way you want to go, Casey?
surrounded a dead girl with dead dogs.
Yeah, that was the Blackburn
And
cult.
tried to resurrect her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Living in a cave, drinking vodka, and being Russian does not supersede that kind of crazy.
yeah. I mean, that's just Russians on their daily basis. But
Pretty much.
America. Sorry, Deborah.
America.
But
Drop that A.
and Scott, which way you want to go?
Dude, like I hate dead dogs, but her cause seems better. Like we're raising a 16-year-old girl. Come on, let's get her alive. Get her going.
Hmm. All right. So which one are you going with, Scott?
The one where she killed the dogs and raised the 16-year-old girl.
All right, Blackburn Colt gets another vote. Chancey, is Blackburn Colt winning, or are you going to give one to the Russians?
Yep, Blackburn.
Which means Blackburn Colt wins. But which way would you have gone, CJ?
I'm getting somebody to jump in.
Yeah, probably Blackburn. I think
Tiebreaker.
Blackburn wins in this instance.
Oh, they already did, but
Yeah, I'm just saying, like
all right. Well, which way would you have gone there, Deborah?
Blackburn all the way, trying to raise the dead. That's
I mean, I'm all for trying to raise the dead. Actually, nothing wrong with necromancy, but don't kill dogs to do it. That's what I'm against.
Yeah, but the other one was fucked up too.
It was Russians living in a cave, nothing unusual. But and
Okay.
the next matchup gets started by Casey, and it's the Carney cult, which was the Carnies who killed the guy who was getting too close to their little group they started of basically the Stranger Things satanic group, versus the Lamb of God, the Church of the Firstborn of the Lamb of God, which that group was the one of the Baron cult.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
who was it?
I was all
Go
prepared
ahead.
to go for the fucking Carnies.
Yeah, but LeBaron's
Matched
the
up.
craziest Mormon.
And then you said they're matched up with fucking LeBarons. And I'm sorry, but I don't want Carnies anywhere near my Christ of LeBaron.
Thank you
So-
very much. Jiminy Cricket.
Because
We'll be going with the LeBarons.
damn right you don't want carnies near your Christ of LeBaron because they'll just fuck it all up.
Oh, we'll
But,
steal that shit and go.
But Scott, which way you want to go?
Chrysler Baron. I'm trying to get someone else to come in to do the tie.
Dude, we don't honestly need, I don't think there's gonna be many tiebreakers anymore.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we'll see. But Chancey, which way you want to go?
LeBaron.
And
I got it.
CJ, are the Barons
Yeah,
moving on?
yeah, LeBaron's all the way, man. Like they were. Like I said, like I've said before, they were a different kind of fucking crazy, man.
Which brings it down to Deborah.
LeBarons.
And I'll throw one to the Carnies just for shits and giggles, but LeBaron already won, so it doesn't matter. But because I got to throw one to my boy Scott for the Carnies. But
Thank you. I didn't throw it to myself, so let's go. All day, son.
and Carnies are juggalos, so I respect them. But
Don't you dare believe that.
but that brings us down to the final matchup in this side of round two, and it's going to be the Kashi Ashram, which, for those who need a reminder, including myself,
Website people.
the what?
Website people.
Website.
Yes. Thank you. The
Fuck
yoga
yeah,
web,
the people with the website.
the yoga website people, and it's going to be and they're going against the Anthill Kids.
Oh. I did not
And-
make these rankings.
Exactly. Well, actually, technically, we did make these rankings because this is the second round. But and the first vote goes to. I finished that one out. So Scott, you get the first vote.
Anthill. Kids. If the kids
Yeah,
are
they
united, they will
and-
never be divided.
Chancey, Anthill Kids or the yoga website Kashi Ashram?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
Hell Kids for sure.
Yeah.
And CJ
And hell,
and Deborah.
Anthill.
which means Anthill Kids does move on automatically. But I personally would have gone for the Anthill Kids as well, even though the Ashikash Ram I respect because they have an actual good website and they're trying to and they're doing nefarious shit behind the scenes still, and they get away with it still. So
They
damn.
did have a great website. For anyone who has not, give them that URL one more time, Jeremy. Anyone who needs help in their life, can you please visit?
Just Google Kashi Ashram, you'll find it. God damn it. But Casey, which way would you have went?
Second round sweep for the Sugar Hill Gang.
Yes, the Sugar Hill Gang / Anthill Kids, which actually kind of makes sense for both ways. We'll move on to face the Lamb of God in the next, and not the band, but the Lamb of God in the next round. Oh, well, actually, Chancey has brought them on the show, so when you said that, he kind of popped up, but he loves Lamb.
Much fucking.
Chancey brought the Sugar Hill Gang on your show?
Spaz.
No, Chancey brought the Lamb of God in our show.
Oh,
yeah, they slow down too much whiny shit.
You're not talking about the right band then, but
I know Lamb of God.
I mean, you can barely understand what the fuck they're saying. You have to look at the lyrics to really understand what they're saying. But
listen to Spaz. Fuck Lamb of God.
We gotta get Scott on our show, Chancey. We gotta, but we're booked out to July at this point. But
yeah, I'll come in
that's
August.
That's what brings us to the next round, the next other side of round 2 here, and it's the Solar Temple, which followed the beliefs of knights and killed an infant on the altar, claiming he was the Antichrist, versus the Moonies, who hang out in airports and try to collect money.
Airports.
And it's going to get started off by Chancey.
The first one for sure.
Yeah. CJ, how about you? Moonies or Solar Temple?
Solar Temple.
And Deborah?
No, I'm sticking with the Moody's.
I'm going to give mine to the Solar Temple because they are way more nefarious killing an infant than the Moonies ever would be. So Solar Temple gets my vote. Casey, how about you?
Moonies never say die.
Which means, Scott, either you vote for Solar Temple and they win, or you vote for Moonies and we got to do rock, paper, scissors again.
Well, dude, like you have not seen the Utah airport. So you were talking about airports earlier. But I do like the Moonies, so let's go with that name. It's a fun name. Let's do it.
All right, well, Scott, do rock, paper, scissors again with Casey there to determine the winner.
One,
Wait a minute.
two. Wait,
did you?
1, 2, 3, 4. I delete thumb more.
Did you vote? Did you both vote for the same thing?
Yeah.
I thought I did the Moonies. Like
Yeah. So to Casey,
funny.
he said Moonies never die.
Yeah, it's a fun name.
So all right, Scott,
do
let's
it.
go. Let's go, Scott.
1. What are you doing, dude? You're like
I'm not fucking with the lag. I'm not fucking with the lag. Just do it
Okay.
on 4.
1. Okay, on 4 we show.
Yep.
You count it down.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4. Oh,
Jesus Christ.
1,
Latter-day
2,
Saints.
3, 4.
oh,
Oh, that motherfucker tricked me.
yeah.
You guys
Okay,
all
Scott.
saw that. Like he had rock and then he threw scissors. I don't give a fuck. Jeremy
Which means-
cheated.
I know you don't,
won,
but-
and we're going on.
Solar Temple wins, and
But he did cheat.
this next matchup, I don't think it's gonna come to this because it's the next matchup is School of Prophets, which for those who don't remember, because they were Mormons, of course, who killed their
Half
wives.
the damn tournament's freaking Mormons.
I know, but they killed their wives. They killed their wives because their wives were going to go to the cops on them. Versus Heaven's Gate, which everybody knows what Heaven's Gate is. So
Yeah, they chopped their testicles off. Think about that. Think about that when you're voting.
but this one goes to
Motherfucker, snip, snip.
Yeah,
This-
cut your balls off, dude. Think about
This-
that.
this goes to CJ first. Is it Heaven's Gate or the School of Prophets?
This is a hard one, man, because
Cut your balls off.
the School of Prophets were. I honestly believe they were connected loosely with the LeBarons. I'm gonna go with School of Prophets on this one just because it was like I said, it was that special kind of crazy. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
Deborah, how about you?
School of Prophets too, I think. That's a hard one.
I was surprised, only woman left on the panel. Like guys cutting their own testicles off. That sounds funny.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Heaven's Gate because of Dude Where's My Car. But which way you want to go there, Casey?
Dude, cutting your testicles off is freaking evil enough. They're until they get voted out, I will vote for ball cutters off.
Which means it's all tied up right now. But which way you want to go, Scott?
I'm not cutting my testicles off. Whatever's the opposite.
So School of Prophets is winning right now. But Chancey, is it going to be another rock paper scissors, or is it going to be School of Prophets?
Do
Rock,
it.
paper, scissors, funny.
Tie it up.
I'll go with Heaven's Gate.
Which ties it up
Oh,
and
Jesus.
well, all right.
I played scissor paper rock last
I
time.
know.
I'll
You
go with you. Ready?
no. See, well, you both went for School of Prophets, so it doesn't work. But oh no.
I went
Casey
for Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, Casey went for Heaven's Gate. So yeah, it works. Go
Sure.
ahead.
Or all the other people. Like,
1, 2, 3, 4. Damn
I
it,
declare a thumb more.
I have rock.
All right,
Prophets.
Prophets win. So
Damn Christ, little barons.
I'm surprised at that. Which means School of Prophets will face Solar Temple in the quarterfinals here. But the next one is Manson family versus Jonestown or People's Temple. So,
Oh Jesus, what?
and this one's gonna
Fuck
get
the
started.
CIA.
And this one's gonna get started off by who finished the last one? Oh,
Scott.
right. Did Scott finish the last one, or was it Chancey?
I
Oh,
didn't
Chancey finished.
finish.
Chancey finished off the last one. So this one gets started off by Deborah.
The
Dang.
CIA is connected.
So Jonestown or Manson family?
I'm gonna go. That's hard. But I'm gonna go Jonestown because more people died.
More people would die if Charles Manson got his way and the CIA let him. But
True.
No, Charles Manson was a pawn in the fucking scheme.
If
of
we just
things.
go numbers.
but
Jonestown.
which way you want? Oh, me. I'm gonna go with Charles Manson because garbage people for life, as Razakel said. But Casey, which way you want to go?
Yeah, Charles Manson was a good dude in the last round, but yeah, no, fuck the CIA.
Thank
Jonestown.
you. Thank you.
And look, Scott.
Charles Manson made some pretty good funk albums, but fuck him other than that. Fuck the CIA. We're going Jonestown all the way.
And Chancey.
Yeah, definitely Jonestown.
Which means the People's Temple moves on to the quarterfinals. But CJ, which way would you have gone?
I gotta go with, I gotta go with Manowar on this one, man. Diana, Cult of the Damned.
Jeremy?
Wrong bracket, dude.
Jeremy, we've been here long enough. I think Chancey's high is starting to mellow out.
Yeah,
It is.
he's like, this is like the perfect time for him.
It is.
Cool.
I mean,
hello,
he's
Chancey. I've been with you on other television shows.
yes.
Malachi!
Malachi came out of the cornfields to find you, Chancey. So,
Outlander.
but that brings us down to the last matchup of round 2, and it's Los Narcos Satanicos, or the Satanists and Narcos, which everybody knows what that is, versus the Rajneeshis, which everybody knows what that is. So I don't need to go into descriptions of either. But which way you gonna go there? Me, and I'm gonna go with Narco Santanicos because I truly believe in that Mexican evil satanic magic shit. Because I've seen enough. I've heard enough stories that fucking prove it's real. But which way do you want to go, Casey?
Narco devil worshippers.
And Laura, aka Scott.
If you go to that Tex-Mex bullshit chili sauce crap they believe in,
Baby back ribs.
narco fucking satanica, but every goddamn South Sider to their grandma I have met is a Catholic. So fuck that. I'm going the opposite.
The Rajneeshis, which brings it up to Chansey.
The Rajneeshis.
Ooh, it's tied up at this point. But CJ, which way are you going to go?
Yeah. Let's go with the Rajneeshis. They were I think they were more organized and just kind of
Oh yeah, they were the Oregon cult. Yeah, yeah,
like they were. I seen a movie about them, so I kind of know more about them. The only thing I know about the other one is just the shit you see on the news, which is 90%.
I voted
against. So
I voted against the Northwest cult.
But which way you want to? Which way you want to go? Which way you want to go there, Deborah? You're the deciding vote here. Is it going to be a tie for rock paper scissors, or the Rajneeshis winning?
No, I'm sticking with the Narcos Satanicos. I mean, you got witchcraft, dark magic. You got the.
All right. So, me. All right, Scott. Let's go.
Why? I did the last rock paper scissors, dude.
All right, Chansey, let's go.
There we go. Yeah, this dude's got us going. Look at him.
Chansey got that motion down.
3, 4.
Bazooka,
Oh,
dude. Bazooka.
Fucking fire.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're that.
Oh, you're fucking
I
kidding
declare a
me.
thumb war, dude. Come on.
Seriously,
Bazooka.
if we could do it. All right. Casey versus Chansey, go. I thought, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna
4.
piss while this is
Jesus.
like a time, man.
2, 3, 4. Chansey
Which means the Rajneeshis officially win this, and we'll move on to the quarterfinals, bringing us to the quarterfinals finally. And
10 hours later.
3 hours there, yeah, seriously. Thank God I'm off work again tomorrow, because my freaking business had a fire and a dumpster fire a week ago, and they're still cleaning it up. So I've been getting paid for a week and a day so far to be off. So no complaints.
What started that dumpster fire? Huh?
I was literally getting in my car as the police cars and fire trucks pulled in, so I have no idea. That's warehouse shit. I'm in sales. We're a floor above. So
No, we're like
it might be
smoke or anything.
there was no smoke, there was no flames I saw, so I don't fucking know. But it could have just been starting at that point for all I know. But that's to bring us to the quarterfinals, and it's gonna be FLDS versus the Blackbird cult. So Mormons versus a woman ran cult of dead dogs. That is dead dogs, yeah. I actually wrote that underneath the Blackburn cult and highlight and underlined it so I know which one they are. But this one's gonna get started off by Casey. Which way's it going?
Well, that's fucked up because I don't like either of these two fuckwads.
Well, that's the point of this.
Mormons are crazy. People who try and raise the dead with dead dogs are even crazier. Yeah, Mormons.
And Laura Scott's not back yet. So we'll go to Chansey. Which way are you gonna go?
Mormons.
And CJ?
Which Mormons are we talking about here? We're not
FLDS, Crazy Mormons, versus Blackburn cult
FLDS.
Dead Dogs.
You know what? We can go with the dead dogs in this one just because I think Warren Jeffs is a fucking scumbag. So Yeah.
And
with
Deborah,
the
which way
Dead
you gonna go?
I'm gonna go Blackbird, the Raising the Dead.
I'm gonna go with Blackburn as well, which brings it down to Scott to decide whether Blackburn's gonna win or it's gonna be a tiebreaker. He's obviously taking the longest piss in history right now. And like for those who don't know, Scott has a very weak bladder and takes multiple pisses throughout the show. When it's 3 hours long.
Dead dogs are Mormons, Scott.
Yeah, no headphones yet. Dead dogs are Mormon, Scott.
Fuck the dead dogs. Mormons all the way.
All right. rock, paper, scissors again. Fuck.
Are you kidding me? I did it the time before last. Deborah's turn.
Deborah's turn. Deborah's turn. Well, wait a minute. Casey voted for Mormons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Deborah, rock, paper, scissors against Casey. Come on.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
And the FLDS moves on to the semifinals.
dang it.
FLDS is like Desert Cat, dude. It's gonna win. Come on. Where the
But
fuck is Cherry? She's coming back on this shit.
Well, we'll be done by the time she comes back on, probably. But the next matchup is Lamb of God, which is
Not the band.
The Barons.
The Barons.
the Barons versus Anthill Kids, and it's gonna start off with Laura / Scott
Anthill Kids all the fucking way, dude.
and Chancey.
Sounds like paradise.
Yep, Hell Kids.
And CJ.
I gotta go with the Barons, man. Like I said, different kind of crazy. I mean, if you knew the whole story, it's grotesque, man.
Hey.
So
What seems
Deborah?
more fun? Come on now.
It's more
Anthill
fun.
Kids.
yeah, but I mean, we're talking cults here, and the LeBarons were
But let's
they
say
were a
you're
different kind
the
of cult,
leader.
man. Like
Let's say you're the leader. Come on now.
But which way are you gonna go there, Deborah?
Okay, I'm gonna go the Barons.
Which ties it up, and I got to throw it to the Barons too, because Anthill Kids were nowhere near as bad as the Barons. But which way are you going to go, Casey? Is the Barons winning, or is it going to be another rock, paper, scissors?
We'll be going with Grand Theft Christ of the Baron, please. Thank you very much.
So Lamb of God moves on
Satan's on me.
into the semifinals to face FLDS. But on the other side, we had the Solar Temple versus the School of Prophets.
Wait a minute. We got 2 Mormons facing off in the final 4.
Apparently,
We
yeah.
got a bunch of
Oh,
Mormons facing off in
shit.
a bunch of shit.
But it's Solar Temple versus the School of Prophets, which are just, I'm not going to go into what they are again, but they're 2 crazy motherfuckers. And it's going to start off with Chancey.
Solar Temple.
CJ?
yeah, we gotta go Soul Temple on this one. You know,
Deborah?
I agree. Solar Templars or whatever.
I agree as well, because I like to follow the night order. And so I'll go Solar Temple, which makes it win. But Casey, which way would you have gone?
Yeah, Knights of the Round Table.
And Scott, is it going to be a streak in the quarterfinals here, or are you going to go
First
for
streak, Knights of the Templar.
which
Come
means
on.
Solar Temple's their first streak in the quarterfinals? But to see who they're going to face, it's going to be the People's Temple, aka Jonestown, versus the Rajneeshis. And this one's going to get started off by CJ.
yeah, gotta go with Cult of the Damned.
Jonestown it is. And Deborah?
Jonestown, all the way.
Yeah, I mean, the Rajneeshis were pretty evil fucks, but Jonestown's a whole nother level, so I'm going to go with that as well. Casey, how about you, though?
Yeah, nah, there's no way in hell I'm voting the Raj Kuthapallis over Jonestown. Jonestown wins.
Which
Yeah.
means Jonestown's will face Solar Temple in the semifinals. But which way would you have gone, Scott?
I'm going with the fucking Kuthapalli, dude. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Come on now.
So the Rajneeshis?
Yeah, whatever.
Kuthapallis.
Kuthapallis.
And Chancey, finish us off. Which way would you have gone?
Not the Rajneeshis.
Jonestown it is, which means Jonestown's wins 5-1.
Or,
Which brings us to the
Deborah's not fucked up enough. Like I see you over there.
I ran out of alcohol.
pounding it.
I ran out of alcohol, so I'm not fucked up enough either. But
Dude, that's an excuse. That's an excuse.
there's no stores open at 12:08 a.m.
I'm
here, Scott.
drinking beer.
I don't
You
have beer.
Drink liquor. And
I was drinking beer like beverages, thank you. But I don't drink liquor. I was only on one podcast ever, and that didn't end well. But that's Chancey. But
I bet
it's
was great.
no, Chancey, it didn't end well, did it?
It did not.
I ended up making a kind of slavery joke in the middle of the broadcast because I was not knowing what the hell's going on.
That might be funny. Like depending on the text, right? Like let's.
No.
My friend my friend Harvey forgave me, so that's all that matters. But it's FLDS versus Lamb of God. So Mormon against Mormon in the semifinals. Which Mormons are going to take the lead here? And this one gets started off by Deborah.
Okay, remind me which.
Lamb of God is the one.
Barons versus the fundamentalists.
Yep, there you go.
Fundamentalist.
The
Mormon-
LeBarons.
It's Firefly Cult versus the original Mormons. And yeah, it's gonna go down to me next. And yeah, I gotta go for Firefly Cult here because that shit's crazy. But Casey, which way you want to go?
I'm gonna go OG because if it wasn't for Warren Jeffs, we wouldn't have fucking Crash
Fuck
Little Barons to worry about.
yes. Fuck yes.
And Scott, I'm assuming you're following Casey's lead.
Absolutely. If you've read the word of Joseph Smith and Brigham Young, Brigham many, like, come on now, dude. If you're going Mormon, you're going hardcore. These Mormons nowadays, I live in the place where they're at, and they kick these FLDS out. These people are traditionalists. FLDS all the way.
It's all tied up going down to CJ at this point.
Yeah, I got to go with the LeBarons. I'm sorry, but
Come
like
on, bring them young, bring them many.
I agree. I agree with Scott on that aspect. But like I said, if you've ever seen the movie or read about the LeBarons, it's like I said, just a different kind of psycho crazy.
Yeah, which Firefly Cult shit. But Deborah, which way you going?
I already did, but LeBarons.
Did you
Yeah,
already?
She started.
I'll do it again.
Yeah,
I don't think Chancey got a
Oh,
vote.
I fucking skipped Chancey. My bad.
Wakey,
buddy.
Chancey.
But
What do you mean? I'm just chilling, waiting my turn.
is it LeBarons for the win, Chancey, or is it going to be a rock paper scissors against the fundamentalist?
Fundamentalist.
Come on, do it.
Yeah, fucking. I'll do
join us.
fundamentalist.
Okay, who's doing the rock, paper, scissors?
Oh, Casey voted fundamentalist. All right, so there you go. They got two.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
who won? Who won?
The fundamentalist won, and they move on to the finals.
Fuck yes.
But
fuck
that means
whatever you guys were going for.
That means on the other side of the finals, it's the other side of the semifinals. It's Solar Temple versus Jonestown, and I'm voting for Jonestown because I go first, and it's Jonestown. But Casey, how about you?
Oh, fucking Jonestown by a mile.
And Scott?
Desert Cat, buddy, all the way.
Jonestown, yeah.
No, not Jonestown. I'm
Solar
going for
Temple?
my FLDS brethren.
It's Solar Temple, not Mormons.
Oh, Solar Temple versus the
Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, Jonestown. We'll go with Jonestown. They meant their shit. Let's do it. Jonestown
And
all the way.
Chancey, Jonestown or Solar Temple?
Jonestown for sure.
which means Jonestown moves on to the finals.
I thought
But-
we were done.
Which way you gonna go there, CJ?
Jonestown all the way. Call to the damned.
And Deborah, is the semifinals gonna have a sweep?
It's Jonestown all the way. Yeah.
So sweep it is, and that brings us to the finals where it's fundamentalists versus Jonestown. And Casey gets to start this round out.
Fuck Warren Jeffs, fundamentalists.
And Scott? You're muted, Scott. Or your headphone.
Jonestown worth the versus the FLDS.
Fundamentalists. Yes.
Yeah, FLDS all the way, dude. I've been trying to get them on my podcast for years now. They don't want to
And,
give up their secrets.
Chancey, which way you want to go?
Jonestown.
And CJ?
Jonestown. Stick with it.
Yeah.
Call to the damned.
Deborah?
Jonestown.
Call to the
Oh,
damned.
And I mean, the fundamentalists are fucked, but nothing beats Jonestown when it comes to Colts. They're the fucking massacre kings.
They were the originals, man. The innovators.
Yeah, but you could,
FLDS were around way before Jonestown was.
hey, I don't agree with this, but Jordan was around before anybody else, and they still try to say that Kobe and LeBron are better than him. So yeah,
Fuck
I don't-
basketball.
I agree, but still, I will stand by Michael Jordan to my dying day because of Space Jam. So,
Ooh.
but that brings us to the end of this fabulous bracket that lasted 3 hours and 15 minutes. This has to be one of the longest 32 brackets I've ever been on in my life. And I've been on a lot of brackets, but shit. But the 128 bracket we did on Bracket Bastards live, our first ever live, lasted about the same
That
time
would
as
be-
this.
That would be a beast, man, because
Oh, well, wait till we do yours. Wait till we do yours, CJ. But
that's
Dude,
why I broke
dude,
it up,
you-
because
yeah.
You
that's why I
had
broke it up. 'Cause
more
But-
people than like you yelled at me for inviting so much people on the last bracket.
Oh no.
And
We
now we had two
we had seven
more
on the
people.
no. We had 7 on the last bracket too.
Yeah, no, I counted all the friends we invited. Like I invited a fuckload of people
right,
last
all right.
time.
All right, Scott. But Casey, why don't you tell them where they can find your podcast one last time?
Evening at the Movies is available wherever you get your podcast listening fix, whether Spotify, Google, Apple, blah, 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 or it can be found on the I Did Not Make These Rankings Podcast Network website, which is www.idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. New episodes of that show drop every Wednesday morning at the butt crack of dawn, so check it out. Thank you guys for having me on. I had a lot of fun for 8 hours talking about crazy fucking Mormons.
Yeah. Fuck
It's-
it's always fun talking about Mormons.
Yeah, it is. But and that's gonna bring it down to CJ. Tell them where they can find you and your podcast one last time.
Google Music God CJ Plain. Any social media, it's Music God CJ Plain, all one word. Or the website riotonthesetmedia.rocks. But just Google Music God
Oh,
CJ
shit.
Plain, and it's all over. 10 years worth of shit or so. So
And of course, you can find me and Chancey as Paranormal Normal / Maniacal Music Musings podcast with the S Facebook group, or at Juggalo Bastard on Twitter and the Gram, or as at Juggalo Bastard podcast on TikTok, or you can find us on YouTube as either show name, Paranormal Normal or Maniacal Music Musings, because Chancey's on Paranormal Normal for all our specials.
Maniacal Musical musifications.
Yes.
Well, and Deborah next.
You can find me
Post
here
your
every
shit,
Sunday.
dude.
That's it.
Post your shit. You said you already had shit recorded.
I know, but it's work is getting too hard. It's too much work. Like I gotta work my real job.
I get it. I got
Podcast is
two
like getting-
jobs
Here,
too.
Moshi.
I know, but
All right. And
I'm
Scott, can they
sticking with
find
you guys.
Scott? Can they find you anywhere besides the streets?
Absolutely. They can find me somewhere and let them find me. You go out and look, and that's where I'm at.
He's in a cave drinking vodka.
I'm in a cave drinking vodka. Go out and find me, bitches.
With the FLDS.
I run the FLDS. I am actually the new Joseph Smith. I'm here in Utah, located. Let's do it. Do it, bitch.
Which that's going to bring an end to this. And Scott, you can officially take us offline and off recording.
Didn't we have to do the last?
We did the last matchup. Jonestown won, buddy.
And anyone who
Oh,
watched the very
Jonestown
end-
won? Fuck this. No, the FLDS won.
You
Let's
could
do it.
you could do your fake history however you want, buddy. We've been through this.
Okay. Well, it was fun, man. Like, I really enjoy having fun with you guys.
It was
Every
fun, and
Sunday.
I love introducing my paranormal family to some people they haven't met before. So always a fun thing.
Do we
But-
next week? This is a 5-week
Ne-
Sunday.
Next
we
week
in-
is gonna. Next week will be another podcast on. I still got to work on getting another podcast on. I got one for June.